All
Peace
is
and
well.
love, everybody.
So we're going to start by everyone introducing themselves. I know we're familiar with some, but we have a lot of new sisters here. So if everyone would take a little time and introduce themselves, we would really appreciate it.
I go by King. Shalom, ladies. I hope all is well with you all this evening.
Shalom, sis.
Greetings.
My name is Otelia, and I used to be involved with the Hebrew Israelite community. I still am involved in affiliate with some brothers and sisters. So this is like my second or third time on Sister Adara's pen. Nice to meet you all.
Shalom, shalom, Sister Rain. It's so good to see beautiful, beautiful sisters. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Wow. I go by Sister Abiyah. Hello, shalom. I'm just getting in, so I'm gonna turn my camera off a little bit because I will be moving around, but it's so thrilled to be here. Blessings, beautiful ladies.
Greetings and thank you for joining us. We appreciate you.
Hello, my name is Amber. I'm in Birmingham, Alabama, and it's my first time here. So, yeah.
Greetings, you're welcome.
Shalom, everyone. My name is Leora Jackson. I'm in Louisville, Kentucky, and I've been on these video calls a couple of times. It's nice to see everyone again.
Thank you. We finally get to put a face to you. Shalom, sis. You go.
I'm at work, so I'm just popping in for a few moments to say hi. Hi, everyone.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? We can hear from our host, Sister Rafaela.
Hey, peace and love, ladies. It's so good to see all your beautiful faces. How was your week this week?
No complaints.
Well,
Interesting.
your weekend. Excuse me, your weekend. How was your weekends? I may ask.
Pretty interesting.
Well, I'm Rafaela. I was born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio. I lived in different cities around the country. I have 3 adult children. I am the CEO of Truth Over Traditions Corporation, also Donata LLC. And it is a pleasure being in your presence. Thank you.
Thank you. So I hope everyone was able who I could get the questions for this evening. But by the way, I'm Princess Ada. If you can't see my name, I'm sorry. But we're gonna be dealing with something we started last month, which is gender wars. We had a co-ed meetup last month when we were meeting with the fellas about this. So we thought, we wanted to get a little more in depth with it. We don't feel like we really dug deep enough on this topic. So we thought, you know what, let's kind of separate it and put the sisters in a safe space and just talk amongst ourselves so we can really dig deep into this conversation. So I'm pretty sure if you're on social media, you have seen some posts, or heard some things concerning gender wars, especially within the Black community. I mean, it's kind of hard to scroll down any timeline and not hear either brothers complain about sisters, sister complain about brothers. I mean, it's really crazy, So we wanted to deal with this topic, and we're going to be asking different questions. Now, we do have people here from all walks of life. Of course, we are women of faith, but I want everyone to feel free to speak their mind. We are streaming live on YouTube, so I just ask that you be careful of certain terms you may use so that, we don't get banned or anything. But as you know, I don't think anyone here has a problem with being respectful to one another. And yeah, we want to try to give everyone a chance to speak their piece on this situation. And even if you don't agree, you know, we can still be respectful to one another. But I don't think this group will have that problem. And so with that being said, if you guys don't mind, because like I said, we are women of faith, we like to start each meetup with a prayer. So I'm gonna ask Sister Raphael if she doesn't mind to pray us in.
Okay, ladies. All those who can and will, if you cover your heads. I know the Hebrew women, that's what we do. Hallelujah, hallelujah. I'm gonna pray the Lord's Prayer in ancient Paleo Hebrew, and then I'm gonna follow with English. Okay. Abanawa Shabbat Shemaya, Kadash, Haya, Shamka, Ahaya, Malakavka, Daba'a, Rataza Wanka, Haya, Aisha, Ba'a, Rataza, Kawahaya Ba Shemaya, Nathan Lanawa, Lakon, Kaya Wasalak Nawa, Kawa with Nawa, Kasalak Nawa, Kawa with Yanawa, Wala Adabaya Anawa, Bana Sanyawana, Bal Hawashai, Nawa, Mon Rai, Kayalaka, Hamalakwa, Waha Allah, Wahata Paraf, Lah, Awalam, Yam. Our Father which is in the heavens, let your name be set apart, let your reign come. Let your desire be done on earth as it is in heavens. Give us today our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Do not lead us into trial, but deliver us from the wicked one. Yours is the reign and the power and the esteem now and forever. Abba, we ask that you will hear and accept our prayers tonight. We come before you in concert under one consent, asking for your divine protection as you have done. And we thank you for seeing us up to this point. We ask that you will continue to watch over our families and our loved ones and continue to grant us traveling mercies as we go to and from our destinations and from home. Abba, we ask that you will continue to have mercy on our souls. Bring fear onto our enemies, those who oppress us, and show new signs to those who don't believe. Raise up the ignorant nation, pour out your wrath upon the heathens and our adversary. Help us to remember your covenant and to walk in your ways and to walk in love. And we ask that you will gather the 12 tribes from all four corners of the earth in due time and help us to endure to the end. Ahaya Bahasham Shai. So be it. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Okay, ladies. We're gonna dive right into this. So first of all, you see we named this Gender Wars Shots Fired. And the reason why is because I've been noticing more and more that when it comes to a lot of the issues going on in the Black community, there's a lot of blame coming towards Black women for it. You know, if anything goes wrong, it has to be our fault. You know, if the children don't act right, it's the single mother's fault. If the men can't get ahead, it's our fault. You know, it's ridiculous. So it really does feel like shots are being fired at us for unfairly. So first and foremost, I would like to ask the question, why do you feel shots are fired? Why are they shooting at us? Why are they directing the blame at us? Why are we the targets as Black women? And feel free to speak, just don't speak up, you know, over each other, but it's, you know, we're pretty informal here.
Mm-hmm.
I'll speak first on that. The reason why there's shots fired like that immaturely is because they are not capable of upholding their status as what men should do and play in the role that they should play. So what they do is redirect. They're redirecting their frustration. Also that we put a lot of pressure on the men. And it's not that we are meaning to do it. It's just that we as women and all the things that we take on as women, they can't take just a little bit of it. They cannot, and they won't admit that. So what they do is shots fired.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sister Dora, go ahead. You don't have to raise your hand. You know we informal, girl.
But you know me, sister. Once I get going, I get going. As a woman who was raised with both parents, a mother and father, my father explained to me a lot. You know, I love my father. He told me, he said, baby, you're gonna always hurt the one that's closest to you. And he says, no excuse, he said, but the brothers that we have now, he said, back in my day, you know, men valued themselves. Nowadays, these new brothers, they don't value themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They sleep with any kind of person. They lay up. They got mommy issues. So it's really rooted with, let's go back to, I'm not blaming all Black women, but there is some mothers who have coddled these boys, and they have allowed them to repress their emotions, because we need to realize that men are humans too. They have emotions, they have feelings, they go through things, and we live in a society where we're told, especially Black men, they're taught they're supposed to be beasts, supposed to be animals, gorillas. They taught that. So I think a lot of it has to go through root to some of these mothers now allowing their male children to be human. And then when they get with a woman, they just dump all that frustration out. Because no man gonna sit there and disrespect his mama.
You know, I want to piggyback off of that. I was going to ask you ladies, did you feel that they valued us? And this is the reason why we're responding to them from the energies they've been given unto us, and seeing if they don't value themselves, they're not going to value anybody else outside of themselves.
They don't think, a lot of them don't even think they're valuable. They think what they have between their legs makes them valuable. Because they stand up and feed makes them valuable. They think if they can lay with different women and have multiple babies, it makes them valuable. Mm-hmm. No, you just a breeder. You ain't a man.
Mm-hmm.
And the lack of, and I'm just being real, and the lack of the brothers, you know, having fathers to show them, the elder men are not around to take these young brothers and get them right on their path. So now they're just, they lost in the wind.
But, you know, I think that too can be a little bit of a carryover from slavery, because I was watching, I don't know what the movie was, but the man, one of the bucks, as they call them, he was able to give this slave woman a boy child. So they gave him a coin for it. Like, they praised him for impregnating her with a boy, you know? So, you know, that was like, you know, I think that's where some of that value comes in, as far as them being breeders, you know, because I think that's a carryover from slavery, you know?
I think what may contribute to them not valuing us outside of them not valuing themselves is because of the image that we've been stigmatized by since the last 400 years. You know, we have the mammy, the anti-mammy image, and then they view us as being too masculine. So how do you ladies feel about that?
Can you repeat that again about the last part? Who's being too masculine?
Yeah, masculine. Yeah, the masculine image. And mammy.
I think that's essential. And as far as it being carried over out of slavery and us having to take on roles as both parents and having to tap into being our masculine side. You know, we shouldn't even have one, but still, you know, in order to find that balance in the home, to raise our children, in order to get through certain things that we shouldn't have to be going through on our own anyway. You know, but I also want to add, as far as there's also lack of accountability as well. And you know, with the pride being an issue as well, it's just like nobody's pointing fingers. It's like let's just go ahead and speak to where we've lost at, and let the losses go, and not put any blame. What has been taking place
We're studying to hold on to what took place with our ancestors and putting it in repetition and continuing rather than severing it and redefining what our roles are, and reestablishing our families. As far as leadership, it's I want to say it's genetic. As far as being a Black woman, we have, and I'm gonna just give this example. Today, just walking through Costco, you know how Costco can be very, very busy. One little girl sitting there going back and forth in the carry with her father, and he did something. She broke out crying, you know, that high pitched cry. She locked eyes with me and stopped her crying immediately. I said, no, we're not doing that. She stopped. Though, and that's that the Most High has given that to us. He's embedded that into us. So I know there was a lot, but still.
Yeah. Absolutely. I know another thing with our brothers and being as a woman who is currently married to a brother from the continent is a whole different dynamic compared to my brothers in the United States. And when I tell my husband, I said, baby, do you really understand that from the time of slavery to now, we never got a break? So the Black, I'm not calling a Black man, but I'm just saying brothers never got a break. From the time of slavery to now, you got slavery, Jim Crow, segregation, and you finally get a chance to make a little bump up there to take care of your family, and then all of a sudden they get rid of the factory jobs, and now you got to go to college, now you got to be in debt. Nobody, we never got a break. Never got a, Mama and Papa never got a break. And I think a lot of also issues between shots fired right now is that Mama, grandma, foremothers never told how hard it was when you had to do a Papa and his emotions. He coming out there from working with these people, and the first thing he want to do is dump his emotion out on the first person that's there to listen to him, which is his wife. Not thinking about the psychological warfare of the mother taking care of the children, and she's a Black woman, and she's trying to protect your lineage from all these individuals that can come on your house, easily rape her and kill your children. But then you never see the other side of him. You get a 50-50 chance of your husband coming home to you. He had a yes.
I agree.
So even in the outside world, he was already, before they said that we emasculate them, they were already being emasculated. So who else can you feel a little up better for? Your woman.
And that affects their self-esteem too, based on my opinion. And from what I'm seeing nowadays, I'm seeing that a lot of brothers are suffering with low self-esteem on the down low. And they don't want to admit it. And it makes them angry, and then they become angry with us. This is just my opinion. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Recently, if sisters found out, a sister was married to her husband for a long time. She found out her husband was on the DL, and he killed her. Over 30 years of marriage, she got away from trying to get away from. Killed her. And I'm not saying the brothers that are so hyper toxic masculine are homosexuals, by no means. I'm going to tell you that it takes, especially, no offense to our, I'm Hebraic, a lot of us are Hebrews, and I'm not talking against any of my Hebrew brothers, but some of the brothers and among the Hebrews are a little extra. They're a little extra. I love y'all, and if you see me on YouTube and you want to fight me, okay, whatever. But I got a 6-foot African husband. You can have it. When they come to the truth of knowledge of self, they either got 2 or 3 little functions. The first function is, okay, I'm going to teach everybody the truth. The next thing is, oh, you listen to me? Well, I'm going to get mean. I've been incarcerated for a year now. I'm getting my manhood back, so I'm going to demand respect. Calm down, baby.
Yeah, see, I, in my opinion, our men over here, they're dealing with a whole different types of curses.
Hurts.
that have been put on our people. They dealing with a whole different type of curses versus the brothers abroad. I see that.
But why do you think that, yes, they're dealing with it, but we're also dealing with it. So again, how did we become the ones to bear the lion's share of the responsibility of the community? And especially, like you were speaking on the Hebrew Israelites, they go hard on the single Black mothers. Why are they blaming single Black mothers for everything that's wrong? If the boy is in jail, is it his mother? If the boy becomes gay, oh, that's his mama. Black women emasculate men. Black women are the ones who feel Black homosexuality in men. Black women are the ones who got their daughters out here being wayward and loose, and everything is our fault. You know what I mean? It's like if it rains, oh, that's a Black woman who made it rain today. You know what I mean? Like everything is our fault.
Lack of accountability, like the Sister Divine mentioned earlier.
And our brothers, and let's be, it's a nation could only go so far with their women. We are the backbone of our community. And so I'm not saying that all Black women, all single mothers, for one thing, single motherhood in itself is already something that should be almost unheard of in our community. It's becoming now a perpetuation of Black woman. The narrative that the system has designed. A lot of us don't want to realize and come to understand that this was designed to break us up. You go to any other community, even in the continent, being a single mother, it's like, what's wrong with her?
I totally agree with you, sis, because systemically, the system that we're up under encourages that.
Going to be a redemption. Okay.
It sounds like somebody's mute is on.
Even as I was growing up, my father, and this is the Black woman's fault. My father was raised by a single mother. My grandfather left her. She later on became blind. She raised 10 kids by herself. One out of her 10 kids did not go to college. And she was blind herself. So, it's possible, but let's be honest, we were not designed to be single mothers.
Who all here are single mothers? If you don't mind our asking. You 1, 2, 3. Okay. That's over half.
And most of us didn't want, and before I met my husband last year, I was a single mother.
I'm trying not to cry. Right now. I really am, because y'all just.
That was my biggest fear, was to be a single mother. I stayed in a bad relationship with a person. And now some of us have, and those of us who are single mothers, I'm not saying our kids' fathers were completely horrible. Some of us had bad men that we got a hold of.
Yeah.
And we had to check.
But see, even in that, they say, again, it's our fault because we picked the Pookies and the Ray Rays, and like as if we really just go out in this world and see the worst man on earth, and that's who I want to procreate with,
Yeah.
And let's be honest, Dexter, you can be a Dexter too, a Clifford, or a Michael. It doesn't make a difference. He can have a 3-piece suit on and still have the mentality of a Pookie and Ray Ray.
But in my opinion, a strong and emotionally intelligent, masculine brother can handle his whole environment. And he can do whatever it is that he chooses to do. If he want to make his marriage work and make his family work, he could do that if he wanted to. And then a lot of us wasn't even taught on how to choose a mate. And that used to be me. A lot of us wasn't taught how to choose a mate. We didn't know what to look for or what questions to ask. All we knew is that we fell in love and he was cute and fine and you know, and we wanted them because we saw everybody else wanted them, and we just went for it, and then there you have it. Then the babies came after that.
Yeah, we didn't have any training on how to do, how to date or how to court, or
Exactly.
we didn't have that courtship training, and that's what's missing still
Right.
today, is how to court and how to discern someone that is appropriate for you. Basically, I mean, yeah, courtship is not what we do today. As you say, it's like us women, or some women, just look for who has the job, who has the nicest car, or some look for the baddest boy on the block. And you know, the concept of these young immature women, they look for the wrong things, and they look for those things that are popular, that is happening, and that's the bad concept. And there's so many immature women that look for that, and they go into that, and they have all these babies, and then it becomes a generational curse where you have all this cycle of women, from grandparents and parents, and then the children. It keeps on repeating itself. I mean, like some of you all spoke before, I mean, we just have to come to realize who we are as women. Is it really us? Did we bring this problem onto ourselves? I mean, by choosing the wrong mate? I mean, yeah, things happen. We weren't in the truth. We weren't in the truth. We didn't know no better. No one taught us about courtship. But
exactly.
I always thought, oh, we're gonna get married, and it will be my first time, and I'll be a virgin until marriage. Yes, that's me. But no, it was not me. You know, and we want that. I think it's like a girl's dream is to, I hope it is. I mean, I don't know now. Is it is it a girl's dream to be a virgin until marriage? These young girls
I
today
used to
is like that.
fantasize about that type of thing when I was a little girl. I used to lay up and fantasize what my husband would look like and how many kids I would have. And then you grow up and you get older and reality hits, you know, and then you realize you're in this matrix.
Exactly. Shalom, sisters. Shalom. I just want to say that I think that it's really all, it's from the enemy. I feel like we just like everything else, you know, that has come against us. I think one of the sisters said earlier, I'm Sister Shay, y'all. I'm just coming in. I think one of the sisters said earlier that, you know, all the things that we've been going through from the beginning, from the Jim Crow, from slavery, no one had a chance to breathe. Still to this day, it's the same thing between the man and the woman. They want to divide us. They've been trying to divide us from the jump, because just like the Bible says in Ecclesiastes, 2 is better than 1. So they didn't want that. They know we're strong. They know that coming together would we would actually overcome a lot by having 2 in the household, and with the family. So they knew that. So they've always got in the you know, in the lab and tried to figure out and study us and try to figure out, well, how do we split them up? How do we cause division so we can conquer them? You know, how do we get the men out of the home, and let's turn them against each other? I've been actually studying this for 3 years with this going back and forth, and I was just praying about it. You know, and I was trying to figure out, well, wait a minute, this is, and now, you know, it's gone too far. Y'all look at the shows that they put out with the balloon popping, and who's doing that? What other culture that's doing that? I think one of the sisters has a African husband here. I too have an African husband. We've been married now for a minute. So I didn't see that in their culture. I didn't see it nowhere else around the world. So I'm trying to figure out, well, wait a minute, here in the States, we're allowing them to have such shows with the balloon, and I see it, but I never watched it because I thought it was degrading for us to be on there with the balloon popping, and it's popular amongst the young people. Myself, I don't watch stuff like that. I can't even stomach it, but I see the division, and they keep doing this until we realize that, first of all, the man is the head, and there's a role for him no matter what it was. It doesn't matter. It's the order, you know. And the woman's going to fall in place. She's going to fall in place that man is leading in correctly and directly, she's going to fall in place. But they keep putting these things out that's dividing us. And honestly, I just think it is. It's the enemy, and it's working, by the way. So that's my 2 cents for right now.
I totally agree.
You know, I was just, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, sis. Go ahead.
Yeah, when she just said something about the enemy, I have a question on that, on the questionnaire about, do we believe that this bickering, is there a spiritual aspect to this?
Absolutely. Very spiritual. Very spiritual. Number one, spiritual. It comes from the enemy's camp all the way down to it comes from him first. He knew who we are. They know who we are. We don't gotta scream from the rooftop. We the people all the time. They knew from the jump. And at this point, by us knowing who we are, okay, we passed that now. So it came from the enemy a long time ago. But I don't know how some people are sinning, some people are not, but it's definitely spiritual.
And
Sister Maisha wanted to say something.
Sister Maisha wanted to say, go ahead, sis.
Hi,
Shalom,
everybody.
Peace and love.
Hi, peace and love. I'm Maisha from Riverview, Florida. So I do agree with people that it is spiritual, but I wanted to first start off by saying, we as Black women, excuse my French, it seems like in this day and age, it's damned if we do, damned if we don't. And I feel like, well, I'm gonna take it back. You know what I mean? I'm gonna take it back to slavery days and how they just slavery, how, you know, the masters had, you know, raped a lot of us women. You know what I mean? And a lot of Black men saw white women as, you know, a prize at that point. And even when we started integration, they were the ones who first went to the Supreme Court to get married to be married to white women. And I feel like sometimes it was the assimilation and the proximity to white that kind of caused us to kind of like divide. White seemed more right, if you get what I'm saying, in their eyes. And so we were left at the bottom of the totem pole because white men ran and got money. Black men and white women were getting money the same amount, and then Black women were at the bottom. When feminism came into play, that was a lot to do with to separate. Because if you think about what happened, we were tricked. Some of the ideals was right, but we were tricked because white women, they never wanted to really stand with us. They needed somebody to stand with them, and they wanted to stand against their husbands. So while they were saying, you know, let's fight this fight, they were fighting for equal rights amongst their husbands, and they were going home to their husbands, whereas Black women started going home to nobody, if you see what I'm saying. And then in this day and age, when it comes to this, we get so much flack on both. It's like both the candle is burning at both ends. We were never taught to look for we weren't taught for providers, because by this time, most of our generation, my age, a lot of mothers were single mothers. So we were taught more independence than to depend on a man, because they were leaving. They were not staying in the home. So by the time we started trying to date and things of that nature, our counterparts, white women, they were taught to have providers. You see what I'm saying? And so now when Black women are saying we want providers, they look at us like we crazy. So I'm like, so which one do you want? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, you telling us, you know what I'm saying, you want us to cook and clean and all that, but then when we say we want providers, now it's y'all lazy, and you did like where do you want us to do? What do you want us? Like, I get confused. I'm like, I know in this economy, you know, you kind of need a two-person income, but I actually asked a brother, you know what I'm saying, and I was like, I posed a question when he said black women are gold diggers. I said, why are we gold diggers, whereas women of other races, they are brought up and taught to find providers to provide for them, and for that it's okay. But for us, we're gold diggers, we're lazy. Why do we get such a bad rep for now wanting what other women have been doing for centuries? You know what I mean? And I asked a brother, I said, answer this for me. Do men make the rules? And he said, yes. I said, how long have men been in charge? And he said, forever. I said, so back then we weren't allowed to do much of nothing. You know what I mean? You guys made these rules. So now that we're coming back and asking for these rules to apply, now we're lazy. This is what you wanted. You know what I mean? So where do we go to stop blaming each other about why? Because, you know, they'll say black women use it for child support, or is this and that and that. And I'm like, I'm not getting it. At every turn, it is never the men that chose to actively leave. You know what I mean? And it's always the women who catch the flack and the back end and the backlash. I never hear any responsibility. But when you talk it to them and you tell them about, the first thing they'll bring up is someone like Samuel. What's the man that passed away, y'all? Samuel, what's his name?
Kevin Samuels.
Oh, Kevin Samuels, him. But they bring him up. But when you bring up Dr. Umar, who brings up accountability, not everybody quiet and he's a quack and he's this and that and that. So I don't know.
Cause they want to choose. They be in their feelings. I mean, and there goes again with the plants. You see how they plant these people in there that's really not talking, that's set to divide us. Because if you look at Kevin Samuels, what he was saying, that mess was was a bunch of mess. Okay, some stuff was true, some stuff, but anybody could have said that kind of stuff. But you see how they gravitated toward the negative, such negative, and then when there's someone talk about positive, they'll gravitate to that. So our men, it's a mindset. You know, it's really a mindset, and we all have to realize what mindset we need to be in at this point in age. And now we have to teach the youth. I'm all about teaching the youth, the young girls, young men, because now our mindset has to change. Because if not, we'll be in another year of these gender wars, and it's going on 4 now. So as I've been counting, I don't know how many of you guys been counting, but this thing is getting out of hand. And it's our mindset at this point. Yeah.
It's unhinged.
It needs to
And
change.
we need to be in the unity mindset now. We need unity.
Let me ask you something. Actually, I'm gonna combine 2 questions. How much does misogyny play a role? And is that misogyny something that the brothers picked up from, again, you know, I'll take everything back to slavery, but, you know, when you watch your oppressors, there comes a time when you envy them. And when you see the master having all this power over everything, they get all the women, they got all the money, and, you know, I sometimes feel like the brothers look at that and say, I want that. So even if it means I got to subjugate, oppress my women, you know what I mean? Anything I have to do so that I can be like them. And that even means they have inherited that misogyny as well. So how much do you think that is a factor? You know, do they literally hate us, you know, or do they envy us as women? You know, like, what is really going on within them that you can see?
I know. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I feel like how can I explain this? When it comes to the misogynistic part of it, I feel like a lot of our men, they are taught certain in the home. I'm going to use my brother as an example. Our father was there, but he was taught certain things, and it was like this that men pass down to other men, and sometimes the emotional intelligence is lost. That is not taught. Everything is so masculine. You can't cry. You got to put your feelings in. You got to do this. And then some men they are taught by their mothers, and so they're more emotional. And I think our men are led more by emotion, and sometimes they get confused on a lot of things that aren't properly taught. You know what I'm saying? And it comes from a lot of trauma. We have generational trauma dating back from slavery. We have so much trauma. And so it's so hard for them to understand, even in this day and age. If y'all look at Gen Z, Lord, and you look at the mindset and the emotional intelligence of some of these men, even in their 50s and 60s, it's astounding that they lack it. And so sometimes they look at submission, and it's not really submission. It's more like beaten into slavery. It's a difference. And I don't understand how we even pull ourselves from there. I don't even know like what we can do to like as a whole, because I see it so much, the mental health of our men beaten down by society, the beaten down, you know, within our communities, the rearing that, you know, the masculine energy that in order for you to be a man, you gotta be this way. And it all ultimately reflects in, you know, the self-esteem. It reflects in, you know what I mean? Like it just comes out in a way that I've never seen. I was just looking at the statistics when it comes down to it, as far as like the way that they act towards us. It's so many women losing our lives. Have y'all seen the statistic of the Black women losing our lives because they can't control their emotions?
Yeah, we're 6 times more likely to be unalive versus other women on earth by our men.
And so I like to chime in with those facts, because that's what I talk about, the atrocity of what Black women are dealing with at the hands of men, particularly Black men. And so I usually pose the question, you know, is it their responsibility to provide and protect us? And if so, why are they our number one enemy? Even when it comes to children and molestations.
Yes.
It's not the white man. It's never been. It's always been in-house.
Yeah.
And so what I had to do for myself personally is go back to the beginning, because there was a time where our children took the mother's last name. This was before patriarchy settled in. And so then I began to research who is really the Black man, what is his purpose in the earth. If children took our mother's last name, according to the indigenous tribes, and females were the ones putting men in place, then how did this flip occur? Even in the scriptures, in Genesis, it says that it's a curse for a man to rule over a woman. That was the punishment. So it's not natural for men to rule over women. It's natural for the females to lead, even in nature.
Yes.
The female animals are leading, not the men. The female animals are the ones doing the hunting. They doing it all. And
that
so,
part.
you know, it's true. And so, you know, to put all of that responsibility on a man, they are going to spaz out, because it's not his responsibility. And I teach us, it's not a man's responsibility to provide and protect. They are number one enemy. And so what I have been really engulfing myself in is this self-love journey and getting back to self. You know, and I even went as far to research the climate change and how the hotter it gets on earth, the more violent men are becoming towards women.
Wow, that's deep.
And so it is, indeed it is. And it's gonna get worse. And the most dangerous thing a woman can do, a Black woman, is be in a relationship with a man. I just gotta keep it real. Because listen, anything will set him off. And from my observation, men love men. They love each other. They are able, a man will be more, he gonna hold that man down. They had a whole Million Man March.
Yeah.
They know how to, and so that's what we, as the matriarchs, it's time for us to come together. It's time for us to pull our energy back and focus on ourselves and our children.
Yes.
Because ain't nobody coming to save us. We have to save us. And we have to save our babies, the ones that are, you know, our babies. And so I would like to encourage you all to focus on yourself at this point in time. Really take out time to heal, because a lot of the men, they've been molested too. They were molested by men. So, and everybody need to heal. And so we, you know, and even myself, I found myself in situationship after situationship, and I had to go on a celibacy.
Yeah.
And just like, nobody's worth touching me, period. You know, and really, like, I love myself. And I'm gonna have a standard, and if you can't meet it, you just can't meet it. I'm good with me.
I'm trying not to run out this window.
And that's what we got to get there. We cannot continue lowering our standards out of loneliness, whatever. You need help in the house, whatever it is. You have to maintain. Yes, it's time to maintain your standards. Love yourself. Put yourself first, because you will attract what you give yourself.
Yes.
So if you're giving yourself the bare minimum, that's what you're going to attract. People that give you the bare minimum. When you put yourself on a pedestal, you will attract people that do the same. And so it's time for us to come back to self.
I don't even know what to say after that. That's well said, sis.
Sisters,
I can't come behind that.
I can. I'll come behind it. Now, however, I like some of the things that this sister just said. But at the end of the day, yes, you have to be about, you know, yourself a lot of times, but a lot of times we're not about ourselves because we think about our children all the time. We worry about so many things, so many other, you know, situations out there that's caused by this world, and we're in it. But my thing is, when no one's coming to save us, I'm gonna tell you, I'm biblical, so you know, I believe in the Most High. I believe what He does and everything, every word that He has ever said. So I do know that I put my trust in the Most High. I know He is going to help, because if it wasn't for Him helping, every single woman every single mother with their children could have been taken over at any given time. Somewhere, somebody is looking out for the woman. Somewhere. So I always said, no, someone's looking out for us. Now, the man may not be there or hadn't been there, but somebody is helping us. And I believe that the Most High has always watched over us and helped us. In the beginning of Genesis, I do know that when He created Adam, He already let Adam know about his job. So the women, yes, the women are leaders too in certain aspects, but there's a lot of things we cannot do, the men can do. And I know this. So that man the man does have a role, is to lead. Now I understand that, since you just said it, you know, women lead, but the man so what is his job? Can we rule over him? You know, because if that's the case, that's where everything is, you know, that's how everything is today. You know, the man has to stand up and stand in his position, and that is his position.
Can I speak after you?
Yes, you know, go ahead, sister.
I just had a question, because I'm very spiritual, grew up, you know, Christian Baptist. But now that I am a mother and I have a son and I also have a daughter, me being the woman that I am in my spirituality, I really can't wrap my head around it. Can you guys tell me any positive stories in that Bible that everyone loves so much about the woman?
Well, what I loved about how the entire talk opened up, the Empress prayed in Hebrew. And so how I basically found the truth was studying the scriptures in Hebrew, particularly the King James Version with the concordance. And so in Genesis 2, when it talks about the flesh being opened, when you look at that word flesh and you use a concordance, you look at that word flesh in Hebrew, it means pudenda. When you Google the word pudenda, it means a woman's vagina.
For sure.
So I say life comes through the womb and out of rib. Females were created first. Yes. And so it's unnatural. Male-female relationships truly are not natural. If there were only females in the earth in the beginning, because all life begins female in the womb of our mothers. Even our sons were females up into 3 months in utero.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I had to go all the way deep. And so if I'm like, okay, well, if females come first, that means we asexual. A man's semen is a virus to our bodies. So how are we getting pregnant? The scriptures say children are a gift from the Lord, not a man. Even Jesus was an immaculate conception.
Yeah.
So I have to assume, no matter how much sex you having, because if it was truly the semen of a man, every time he had an orgasm, you should be pregnant. Or women should have more children, you know, because of sex with men. But I'm very spiritual too, and I take the scriptures very seriously. And so that is what I hold strong to, is that children are a gift from the Lord, not a man. And it's what I teach, it's what I believe. I've even went as far to study, you know, the chemicals that are in semen. And it is truly a virus to our bodies. Usually when females have sex with a man, you're gonna get an STD. That semen carries all type of diseases. They even put semen in vaccines to create the diseases. They're able to take out the diseases out of the semen and give it to us in the vaccines. They have it when I forget what it's called, but it's called semen vaccines. And so when I tell you this gender war, it's a very serious one. And so to desire, just like the scriptures say, your desire is going to be for your husband and he's going to rule over you. That was the curse. And so that's what we're seeing playing out. Women want to be loved by a man. But in turn, he rules over us, he takes advantage, and he's on to the next. And if you are lucky to survive, you know, then it's that. But in this time, and to the Empress that said about the man, you know, being the leader, your husband being from Africa, the African tradition is different, and they reverence the female. They reference females there. Here, they're not taught to, you know, it's the man is the head, do what I say, and that's it. But over in Africa, they know that the female is the head.
My point exactly. When I met my Ish, and he is Hebraic, he's a Hebraic man, and he's from the continent, he's from Ghana, and his tribe is called Eve or Ephraim. And I asked him, why do you, and compared to all the other tribes in Ghana, he said the Ewe men have the most respect for the woman. And I asked him, I said, why do you treat me so nicely? He said, because according to the Most High, you are one of the most valuable things on earth. He said, you carry, he said, the men that when they beat on their wives, do they not look in the eyes of the Most High? He said, he created y'all last. He said, by the time y'all were on the scene, everything was already set up. He said, he said, when a woman gives birth to a child, she's fighting with life and death. Darkness, he said, the darkness and the light is in there at the same time. He said, when a woman gives you a precious gift by giving you a child, why not value that?
Do you all feel that the internet has a lot to do with some of the men's attitudes toward, not saying all men, because we do have some good men out here, but the ones that are like negative, the low vibrational, do you think the internet plays a part in that?
It's not.
I do.
I feel like it's a little bit of both. I feel like that. Greetings, sister. I feel like it's a little bit of both. The internet, but before the internet, we didn't have the internet. So what's the excuse? Is some of these men out here are being raised by their mothers who have coddled them for so long and make them feel like that what they do, they son do no wrong, taking up for him, and once he get grown and on his own, he's looking for that same treatment in his woman, but his woman is not his mama. So he's, and a lot of them, grew up by their aunts and they grandmothers. So they have that that 65 attitude, and now the internet has intensified it. So a lot of these guys, males, do not have any respect for women because whatever reason or however they were raised, and they wasn't raised to respect their mama or respect women when they was growing up. They don't have no respect for the women that they come in contact with.
I think that what the internet is doing is exposing it, because our grandmothers and our great grandmothers, they was beat down, but we didn't have the internet to see it. So this has been ongoing since the beginning.
You guys, let me interject really quick, because I've been holding this poem for a minute. When your sister brought out about the abuse and the danger to women, there's this poem by Pat Parker. It's real short, and it goes like this. It says, "Brother, I don't want to hear about how my real enemy is the system. I'm no genius, but I do know the system you hit me with is called a fist," right? So I've seen so many times, and not all single mothers, but I've seen some single mothers have this, what do they call that? Is it Oedipus? Was like when the child looks. Okay, well, I've seen it in reverse, where the mother is worshiping her son. But I think it's like because she couldn't have what she wanted in the father, she develops this unhealthy relationship with her son, and she worships him, and she puts him on a pedestal, and she trains him to love her, protect her, provide for her, and no other woman. So when they go out in the world, they get these women and they want them to baby them, as they said, coddle them, and they're kind of effeminate acting because their mom didn't really let them do anything because he was the man in her life. And even when he does go out and get into a relationship, she doesn't care if he disrespects that woman or beats that woman. She may even encourage him to do it because she don't want no one to come before her because she couldn't have what she wanted with the dad, or she can't get a man of her own, or keep a man, I should say. So even when she does get a man, he can't come in and assert authority over the boy, like it's me and my son. And So then the poor woman who gets in a relationship with this boy child, she got to suffer the abuse. And it's always someone else's fault with him. It's, like you said, back in the 70s, well, it's the system, it's the man, it's the, the white man got me acting like this. The white man won't let me work. The white man won't let me be a man. And, you black women, y'all in cahoots with the white man trying to hold us down and beat us down. And so I got to beat you down because that's the only way I can have any power or authority is to basically put my foot on your neck, And some
what's the excuse for because back in the day, there were 2-parent homes. So is it just in them?
Well, I think it's trained, and I do think that, especially when you go way back in time, remember women had no power over themselves, even to the point of who married you. It was whoever your parents gave you to. Think about the Bible. I never seen nowhere in the Bible except for, I think, one example where the woman had a choice if she would marry the man. I think it was Isaac's wife, Rebecca, was given the choice if she would go with the man. Every other woman, she was given to someone. She had no choice. So women, for whatever reason, maybe like you said, after the garden, we had no power of ourselves. So it was like, marry whoever they tell you to marry. You have their children, even if it kills you. You couldn't do anything, and it just kept carrying on. And I sometimes wonder if religion plays a little part in that misogyny. Because there's a lot of people who do use the Bible for control. They use it to control the slaves, and they definitely use it to control women. You know,
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is the true form of slavery. It is the religion is the true form of slavery. If you think about it, religion is an egregore system. It's a system. It's a systematic way of control a program. It's an upload program, and then we agree to the upload program. So henceforth, we give ourselves up in slavery and servitude in so many ways, indirectly, to not realize the control method of the male species to the feminine species. So in regards to, like, I just want to go back on what Sister King said, with the degenerate semen in the men.
I don't believe
This is
that.
part of a plague. This is a plague. This is a serious plague. It's a sickness. So it's like we can't take it personal. We also have to be aware of what we're dealing with. And there's at least five different types of parasites in male semen. That's just 5 so far to be detected, and that's in a healthy man alone.
Oh, wow.
So imagine an unhealthy man, whether he's mental, spiritual, physical, his poor diet. Imagine how much that multiplies, and then the other parasites that's not found in him. For as far as women, we can't be blamed for all accountabilities. After the first time, okay, fine. We just however we meet our mates, traction or whatever it is, and then there's a mistake there. Something happened, we move on, and then it may happen again. Okay, after a while, we have to start taking accountability at this point. So, just like it was said, loving ourselves first. A man is absolutely not going to put his all in a woman if she don't put her all in herself first. Even those of us who have, and I've been married 20-something years, and I've been taught some things. Okay, my estranged husband told me, people do what you let them do. And I learned quickly, once he said that, I learned quickly from him. So I learned from a shyster how to, now he's no more, because he taught me that I was wrong in how I handle things in my own personal life, and not being able to grow. We're not just here. Some women may feel like they're here to breed for the men and be underneath the men. There are some women who have been called to higher heights. And that you can't be a matriarch with a husband that wants to control you. If you want a husband to be a leader over you and control you, you are not a matriarch. Matriarchs are something totally different than the wives. And I'm not saying that they're not wives either. I'm just saying that there's a different kind of woman that's walking the earth than the other women who are programmed underneath a slavery gene. So there's a lot of
you have a lot of women that want to be led fully by a man, and that they depend wholeheartedly on their man. Without their man, their life don't exist. Without their man, they can't function without their man. And those women,
silly women laden with sin. So the thing is that sin is when we don't seek our higher self. Sin is when we don't seek our higher self.
Something, because I've noticed that in these interracial relationships with a black man and a white woman, it's usually normally the white woman is the one that's leading the relationship.
Well, yeah, and men, I did a live on why black men date white women, and it's because they let that man sleep with men. And so when I said that, a white woman, because white women, they let their man do whatever they want. They gonna still love they.
Yeah, because you
and as
had a
soon as it
relationship
came out
with
my mouth, and I said that, I'm sorry.
Oh, somebody needs to mute their mic.
But as soon as I said it during the live, I had a white lady named Karen. She said, "You're telling the truth, because I was married to a Jamaican for 20 years and he slept with men," and she allowed it. And so that is usually the reason why men date outside of the races, because that other woman is going to get down and dirty. And they already know. Ain't no melanated female going to be doing all that.
No, ma'am.
You got some of them out there that will participate that will participate in the sake of pleasing a man. You got some of them out there will
but the majority of us.
Yeah, you got some out there do threesomes and all kinds
And
of
that's
stuff.
why the divorce rate is high. That's why the divorce rate is high on that end, because look at that. They think that that's what they want in the beginning, but that's not even orthodox. That doesn't even make sense. Now, I have known of the opposite of white men marrying black women, and I was born and raised in the East Coast in New York, so I've seen some things, and I've seen some great things.
But they take it,
and I've seen some common things, and I've seen the opposite, where the white men treated the black women way better than the black men treated their own, and then the white men who got with the black men didn't even do any better by the white women. They thought they once you give a male species a certain kind of power, it don't matter what race the woman is. It doesn't matter. It's the problem that that the law was meant for the man, not for the woman. If you look in Leviticus, it ain't talking to the women at all, except for one particular verse, not to labor the beast. But when you look at that entire passage and all of those verses, it's only speaking to man. When you look at a lot of all these commandments that we're supposed to have, it's talking to man. So when you have them brothers out there that's extra, the Most High, he only dealing with 144,000 men. He ain't dealing with the woman. He's damn sure dealing with you, because he's not dealing with us. He didn't have the problem. The law was established for men, and they put it on the woman. And then you have breeders for the wicked. You have women that are breeders for the wicked, and that's how they come here. And there's a lady who said something about, she said, y'all complain about all these Tom, Dicks, and Harrys running around, and then you open up your legs to all these Tom, Dicks, and Harrys, and that's the reason why they're all over the place. So, we do have to take accountability after a while, because we're not vetting out what comes into our temple. It's the temple.
Right. We're supposed to guard it.
This is the temple. So we have to, only the chosen shall enter. And we're not paying attention to that. We can't get no diseases if it's a heterosexual relationship involved, there's high chances of diseases. And it's not just because a woman slept around all over the place, it's all the woman's fault. It could be the man and the woman's just not that alkaline and acidic system is not even compatible.
See, that's
based on blood types alone. So it's a lot to deal with.
You're not aligned with each other spiritually. So when you're having just casual sex with these men, and men having casual sex with these women, you don't know what spiritual demons that each one of these people are carrying. And that's why it is very important that we as women, before we get out of one relationship, stop jumping into another one thinking that's going to heal the moment, or that's going to get that other man out your mind, when all it is just causing all kind of problems with you. You wondering why you got all these women with all these cancerous and things growing on the inside of them that they had no knowledge of, because of the men that they're coming in contact with. You have before you get in a sexual or a spiritual relationship with anybody, you need to know that you're spiritually aligned with that person, and that when because he's entering your sacred place. That's a sacred area. That is something that is your most prized possession. And before anyone enter that, they need to be able to enter your mind and be able to stimulate the mind before they can stimulate between the legs.
And sister, hold on. When you said that, I got to interject. Have y'all read the thing that says, you ever heard people say you got D on the brain? There was something I read that said that if something in the man's sperm travels up to our brain and becomes a part of our DNA. Has anyone read that?
No, ma'am.
I've heard of it, but I haven't read it.
Yeah, that their sperm travels up to our brain.
It's true. And when you're talking about the fibroids that females, those are actually our eggs that are being mutilated by the semen. Because when they take those fibroids out, they have hair, teeth, and nails, just like a baby. And so, semen is alkaline. Our vagina is acidic.
What are you showing us?
So those are all different kinds of derelict sperm inside of males.
Oh my
Different
gosh.
kinds.
Oh.
And that's just and some of them, and this is just a little bit of them, because some of them had like jagged tails, like dragon looking tails. This is not even all of the kinds. So yes, you're right. Like what was saying about the sperm. It's semen basically is information. Is information. Yeah. So the woman has pretty much everything it takes to make a baby on her own, technically speaking. Because we were not aligned since the womb was habitable. What happened is now we had the need to mate through male. And then when this happened, it was an infiltration. It was an infiltration and an ambush all along. When you watch that conception video, remember back in the day in sex education when they gave us a little conception, how a baby's made, and you see how they make you believe like, oh, all these millions of sperm is racing to get to this egg. That little egg, she's sitting there, and she just is like, just smiling and everything. She's chilling. She's very, very, very humble. Nothing but sun just shining on her, and that sac is protecting the eggs. Oh, here come all these sperm. Just like, yeah, they just running like an army. And then they all surround the egg. It's like they're saturating the egg. And all of a sudden, a pathway is made for one sperm to get through. It's not that sperm made it through. That's not the one sperm that made it through. It was already chosen. It was the leader of the army. And then that sperm, after the egg has been broken down, how we get broken down by a man when a man serenades us and he done convinced us to pull our panties off, and then there goes the infiltration, the ambush. Well, that's exactly what happened with that sperm and that egg. Now that sperm have gotten able to get through the walls much easier because the other sperm had made the way for him, for its leader, for their leader. And then it's doing this. Why, if you're making a baby out of love, why so angry? Why so aggressive? Why so aggressive?
Because
that's the ambush of getting into the temple. Makes me question about the walls of Jericho.
I worked in a hospital in Florida for 25 years. We removed a fibroid tumor from a female. Did you know that fibroid had hair and teeth?
Yes, those are babies. And so, and not to go against you, Empress, when you talk about the sperm.
We cannot believe it. We can't believe it.
Our eggs are fully developed fetuses. They're fully developed. Every female species in the earth is born with her eggs, whether animal, insect, human. And so when I looked into artificial insemination, the number one thing that they do is womb warming, incubation. And so what I learned is that it's not the semen or the sperm, it's actually the heat. So if a female, conceives, in my mind, if a sperm is alkaline, your vagina acidic, it's instant war. That vagina is fighting that acidic vagina is fighting that alkaline semen. Ain't nothing. It's immediate war inside of your body.
Wow.
So then how does a female actually conceive, so the egg, begins to grow or whatever? It's the heat. And so when you go for artificial insemination, what they're going to do is they're going to warm the womb. They call it womb warming. And so it's just like when we used to put a chicken egg in an incubator and we could hatch the egg. Wasn't no chicken getting the female pregnant. We just put the egg. And so it's the same with the human body. Our eggs are fully developed fetuses. And that entire baby, if you have children, your children, let me just put it like this. When you were in your mother's womb, she was in her mother's womb. Or when your mother was in her mother's womb, you were in your mother's womb. And so when I talked about the bloodline running through the mother and us taking our mother's last name before patriarchy settled in, even our indigenous tribes, the Treaty of Peace and Friendship says that the bloodline runs through the mother and the land and the soil belongs to the female. The Pope bows to the Black woman. They give us a white man, but they bow to the Black Madonna and child, the mother and daughter.
That's true.
Everyone is separate.
They know who the gods of this earth is, and there is a God above all gods. I'm just saying, as far as the Black woman, the so-called Black woman, we birthed all nations under the sun. Even the, and I'm gonna just say this, I'm gonna put this out here. We birthed the white people because they only came into existence in the late 1700s. All of the first presidents in the earth were Black men. George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, John Hanson was the first Black president. This was in the 1700s. Barack is not the first.
Yeah.
Okay, so and my mantra is Black woman God. We birth all nations under the sun. And I give homage to the great mother. So, and it's not, you know, but what I love about this talk and all of you ladies is that, like the scripture said, it's the call and assembly. And let's reason. And that's what we're doing. And it's so beautiful. And I'm enjoying myself, breaking bread. You know what I'm saying? It's all love, but I'm here to make you think, and y'all making me think. And this is what it's all about. It's so beautiful. Thank you so much, Princess.
Let me ask you guys something, because since we went down this rabbit hole, dealing with gender wars, so it's starting to seem like sex might be at the root of some of this, you know? Because how is it that we can't get along on any other level, but yet, as you said, the most sacred act, we can come together for that. We can share our most sacred temple with one another and then get up and then hate you afterwards, despise you afterwards. It's almost like, it's like an incestuous relationship, like you sleeping with your brother, and now you hate him because of what you're doing.
That's because people use sex as a bartering service instead of using it as what it's for. And you know, sex is when a man and a woman becomes intimate with each other. It don't have to also always necessarily has to be penetration involved. Just laying in your man's arms is good. You know, just having that warmth, just having that that man right next to you can make you get to your highest level. I don't know if any of you all ever had tantric sex, where the meeting of the minds. That's now, if you can get on the level with a man like that, baby, and honey, that's the best sex you can ever have in your whole entire life. When a person you ain't got to touch, all you got to do is just sit there and look at each other, and you got the meeting of the minds. That's the best. And too many people can't reach that level because they're not in tune with their star player. They're not in tune with themselves. And when you and ain't no man gonna beat on me and then jump up and down in me, because she ain't gonna act right. And you have people that do this makeup sex and I'm sorry, and Valentine's sex and Christmas sex and birthday sex and all these. You got days when you really want to be a freak and all of this. And so now it's like sex is like a credit card. You can slide it when you want to. So people not valuing their sacred areas. A man's penis is sacred. A woman's vagina is sacred. So when those, if anybody is familiar with the Ankh, so when those two cross together and come together, man and woman produces life. So when we're planting, when he's planting his seeds inside of us, he's planting them seeds to reap a good harvest, and those children is what comes out of those good harvests.
Somebody needs to mute. Okay, I'm sorry.
So when these two meeting, so when man and woman come together, and the man plant the seeds, the woman is the host. So now we are that garden that make sure that this child get nourishing, that, you know, and he also has to play a part in that. You know, you have some of these women get pregnant and they walk around and oh, I can't wait till I have this baby. Oh, I'm tired of getting pregnant. Oh, I'm tired of this. I'm tired. But why? I cannot stand to see unhappy pregnant women. Mm-hmm. Because you're producing, because when that offspring comes out, when that seed comes out, that's when them babies have all kind of problems and all kind of ailments and because the producers of that offspring, they weren't aligned with each other. That baby was not conceived out of love. It was conceived out of hope that I don't get this woman pregnant, and I hope that she ain't lying, that she on birth control. And I hope that oh, I hope he don't get pregnant. Oh, I ain't ovulating today. And you know, based on that. But still, you know, when we lay down with somebody, make sure that's somebody that you really want to have, you know, intercourse with. If not, find you something to play with. Because allowing these different entities inside of you is bad business. It's bad business.
And it's not only that. It's not that sex is even bad. It's more like sex is an energy. It's an energy. It's something cosmic and beautiful. And sadly, I've heard women be more. Some women, I'm saying not all. You know, there are some beautiful marriages out there. You know, all is not lost. And there's some women out there who have. My spiritual mom, I call her my spiritual mom. She's like, she should have been my biological mom, but she, at her age, she found she received love again after all the things that had happened in her life with her previous husband. She ran into my godfather after all these years, and her and my godfather were together when they were teenagers. So, and when I was born, I didn't realize he was the one who named me. So she's telling me all these things about him, and she talks about him like she's 18 years old in love, high school again, to this day. Like still talking. He passed like 3 years ago, and she talks about him like he's still around. And she experienced things with him, like you said, about tantric sex. Like there were things that they didn't really go too far with, but it brings her to a level that you can't tear her down now. And she's not even trying to date nobody. She don't even want to be bothered. She don't want to be bothered because that man has put a mark on her in a way that she felt like a little girl that's safe. She felt like a little safe little princess. And that means a lot. And there's not a lot of females, sadly, that will never experience that because they're chasing things the wrong way. We are not meant to be underfoot. We are not meant to be underfoot. And when it does come to having sex with a particular mate, that energy should match. That way, you know, that way it doesn't have to be an arranged marriage. No one owns no one. No one owns no one. So when we allow ourselves to be put under these systems, that's where there's a lot of anger. Like you said, that there's a woman walking around saying, oh man, I hope I ain't pregnant. Or she's like, oh, I wish I get this baby out of me. She shouldn't talk like that because the child hears it. The child hears that. So damn, like, you know, sorry, you know, but it's like, it's supposed to be a beautiful thing. You're supposed to be breeding gods and goddesses through your womb. You were chosen for your womb to be a sacred vessel for that child to come through. And sometimes the soul jumps into that child before the child comes out. And sometimes the soul waits to jump into that child by the time that child is 4 years old. It depends. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the eternal realms that we don't know about. And while that woman is carrying, the relationship between that woman and that man can make a big difference on how that child ends up. The child hears everything and sees everything. And this is where there's so much animosity even with the whole thing with women being so-called gold diggers. I don't know. I mean, like I said, with all the sperm that's inside the men, the stuff that's going on, why shouldn't a woman demand money? Do you know how much does it cost for a woman to have a baby in the first place? If he can't provide that off top just to make sure, so in case she gets pregnant, if he can't even provide that, and that is less than a decent salary, okay, to have a baby is what? Is it still $20,000 or more? If he can't provide that to even get to know her and court with her, he shouldn't even be stepping to her. No man should be picking up no rubies. If he don't even know how to provide that first. if a man wants a woman to submit so much, but get to know, find out what she's about, because some women don't mind submitting. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. When I was in the Hebrew Israelite community, even all the sisters that I was around, we wanted to see nothing more but put our men on a pedestal. I knew a lot. My husband came in and he was not grown as much as I would, but when he started reading the scripture a certain way, I'm like, oh shoot, like I was willing to step back and just let him rock, like do this, do that, do that. I wanted him to be that king. But no, I declined him because he didn't want it.
But
so I messed up
in order
looking at
for
something that wasn't working, you know?
In order for a woman to submit, he got to be ready to commit. And that's to commit to the Most High.
Right.
And if a man can't, if he's not willing to commit to the Most High or the Supreme Being or whoever he worships, how can a woman submit to a man that can't even commit to God or the Most High?
Well, that's the thing. So the thing is that religion, there's the trickery in religion. I don't care which religion it is. I don't care if it's the Hebrew Israelites. I don't care if it's Islam. I don't care if it's Christianity, Baptist. I don't care. Religion is the whole secret ingredient. Is religion to get the woman to
bow down.
Yes, it's religion doing it. It's nothing else but religion. And we do this world is ran by man. This is a man's world. Okay, this is a man's world. You know, like James Brown said, look at this place. If women ran this world, we won't need shoes on our feet because grass and daisies and all kinds of flowers would be growing all over the place. We wouldn't need to be sick. We wouldn't have no sickness. There would be no female trees constantly chopped down, but only the male trees is left up. And you wonder why all that pollen is all over the place. That's the male tree sperm. And then they shave the female trees down and make promissory note paper out of her. That's why the currency flows so well through the control of the man. They know what they're doing. It's always a flow of the woman. When a man leaves, a woman still got to handle everything. So all that man with the 50-50 thing, 50-50, she got to have a baby, then she got to fold them clothes, then she got to wash some dishes, then she got to deal with your emotions when you come in from work. I heard, you know, the sister said earlier, I get it, when men sometimes got to deal with the world and they come home and they want to dump all their emotions from what somebody did to them on the outside. She shouldn't have to hear all that. He should be strong enough to have to take that. We can't put all this blame on ourselves as well, because then that brings the masculinity parts. And we don't mean like rah-rah type thing. We're talking about masculinity that we're taking on, and we're taking on emotional, intellectual pain that the man is taking on.
But sometimes,
so the man doesn't know how to he doesn't know how to come to the woman in her feminine and appreciate that. So now she's too masculine, or he's being feminine now. Now he's being feminine and we're being too masculine because his masculinity is not measuring on his part.
When it comes to the back up just a little bit, you were saying that men should be able to take all that and not whatever done happened to them. I don't agree with that. That's just my opinion. I feel like that our mate is our we are their safe haven. We're their peace. So if a man don't have an outlet, not that he's coming and dumping everything on you. Now you have those cleanup women that, you know, that listen to everything that he say without passing judgment. And we as women as a whole, we have to be able, we want people to listen to us. We have to be able to listen to him as well, because he don't have an outlet. My husband is a police officer, and you know, when he comes home, we can just get off the phone and he can come through the house, and you can tell that his whole demeanor, not towards me, changed, but it's like, I'm home. Let me relax. So once he gets relaxed, then he'll tell me how his day was. Do I go and before he leave, is have a good day, be safe. And there are things that they do need to confide in us. One thing, this is why people say that Erica Badu do voodoo on men or whatever. No, that's because she listens to her man. And Black men don't have a woman that they can listen to. You know, the only person they probably did listen to them was their mother. And then some of them didn't even have a mama that would listen to them. She would just be doing her thing. And now you got this boy who one day gonna grow to be a man, and now he don't know how to express himself because he never had that outlet. The man already weighs the world on his shoulders. Yes, we do a lot. That's what we was here. That's how God made us. God made us to take on the pain of the world. He gave us that. So we able to do that. We as women have to be a listening ear to our man or to the men, period. Your brothers, if they want to talk, your nephews, if it doesn't matter, if they want to, let them express themselves. Just listen sometimes. We have to stop talking, humble ourselves, be meek and mild, and listen. We have to listen. We don't listen. We don't want to listen. We want to get our point across. We want to be, the woman want to be, she want to be the center of attention. If no, you know, and we have some selfish ways, but we cannot turn our man to the streets. We can't give him to the streets because we don't want to listen. We don't want to be his diary.
Sister,
you know,
case by case situation, and I get where you're coming from. Like I said, I ain't been married for 20-something years, and just that I get where you're coming from. You know, case by case matter. There are women who have been more than humble.
Yeah,
They put themselves in situations where they were spiritually dead, don't know themselves anymore. Okay,
Yeah.
I've been through at the least 4 congregations, 4 assemblies. I've seen some things. And it hurt me to my soul how much they would. And another issue is not enough sisterhood, not enough support. I get where you're coming from. I get where you're coming from, where we should listen. Women listen to the point that they was advocating for their man about polygyny. Okay, doing everything the man said, and still, so the listening part, it was there. This is a case by case situation, and we're talking about these complainers now, the ones that's attacking. We're not talking about like your husband being a cop. Oh my goodness, I can only imagine where he's going, where he sees a lot. Yeah. We're not talking about these men who are stand up, MAN, meeting all needs kind of guys. We're talking about the lack thereof of the other ones, and they should not even be getting married. And we do have to take accountability and don't take on those kind of problems either, because it can cause problems in the womb. It can throw off your pH balance. You absolutely at fault when something comes, when a child comes out the form, or with the situation, or why you're not getting pregnant, or why you're miscarrying, or whatever the case may be, or why you are off because you're taking in all of that information, then everything he's dumping inside of you're like a big human container to be dumped into. So this is
I hear some truths coming from both sides.
Because they are planting, because they planting bad seeds. And you go, if you go buy a pack of seeds, out of all 1,000 of them seeds, not all seeds gonna make it. So if we're and these guys that we're talking about, they haven't even reached their full potential of manhood. Those are males. They just out here bopping around. But a man that has reached his full potential and has reached manhood, then a real man is not gonna do no dumping ground on his woman, because he already know that she's gonna worry. It might hurt her feelings. And again, we as sisters, we have to have that sisterhood, like you said, so we can be able to be be able to confide in one another when things are getting rough. Men don't do men. Some men have that brotherhood, but they don't. I always been the type of female that been a best friend to my significant other. Like you, we talk like homeboy, homegirl, and a person wouldn't even know that we are in a relationship because, like a man and woman relationship, because of how we react around people. Trust and believe I got my man back, but at the same time, we as women, we have to sometimes let our guard down just a little bit and be a homeboy to him. And that don't mean that we're stepping out our feminine self, but sometimes that man need a homeboy. He don't need that, somebody pointing at him all the time. Oh, you ain't take the garbage out. I take the garbage out all the time and take garbage to the road. And I bet you people be looking at like her man don't never take the garbage out. She always take it. And this is where we have to
compromise.
Yes.
Yeah.
If your man out there working hard, making it do what it do, by all means, take that garbage to the road. Don't be sitting there letting it sit there and talk about, oh, he gonna take it out. Don't no woman take no garbage out. Nah. And it's just like we got all these set rules. Why we just can't live? Everybody got their own household to manage.
You know, though,
your
some of these rules were not created by us in the first place. The patriarch created some of these masculine, feminine rules that we have, first of all. And then secondly, I want to address the fact that you speak on peace. We need to be their peace. But let me tell you, like you said, the sisterhood, who's our peace? A lot of brothers, even good brothers, will dump on you everything. And sisters have reached capacity. So when we get to that place sometime where we're like, I just can't hear you no more, I'm just over it now, that's when they say we're not supportive. That's when they say we become masculine and this, that, and the third. But it's like, if we don't have a sisterhood and we got to bear all of his stuff because he's the provider and he's the good man, because there's the prize. That's what I'm hearing nowadays. The black man is the prize.
Sister Nakia said, why we always have to be the one to compromise?
Well, that's what I'm trying to get at. So
Exactly.
who is going to be, where is our peace then? If we're receiving all of this, we're bearing the children, we're taking care of the house and working outside the house and taking out the trash and listening to him and, rubbing his head when he get home from work and feeding him and we doing all of this.
That's because we have taken on that role, sisters. And if you sit up here and you got some females that sit up on the phone and gossip with one of their girlfriends all day long, and she dumping all kind of stuff on you. But when your man get home, you can't listen to your man just a little bit, but you done sit up here and listen to this nagging ass woman all day about
That's a good point.
everything that up under the sun, and she worried about the person down the dang on road. But when your man get home, he all he want to do, all he want to say, man, the supervisor tried me today, and he might be out there doing all he can do, and you can sit up and gossip all day long, look at these reality shows all day long, but your man come home and you got a problem with cause he just want to talk, but you can listen to every damn thing else, but you can't listen to your man. Right. Well, call your girlfriend when you need your bills paid. Call your girlfriend when you need something done. You can't do that because she done dumped all her shit on. She done dumped all her. I'm sorry, y'all. She done dumped all her stuff on you. Now she got your spirit messed up. Your man come home. Now you in a funkified mood because this girl I sat over here and talked about every man that she done been with and she tired of. And now you looking at your man upside his head wrong because this girl over here done tarnish your brain.
Now, sister, you're coming from the aspect of a wife with a good man. But how many sisters have them good men? You know what I mean? It's a lot more sisters are dealing with.
Trust me, I have not always had no. I have had some great men in my life, but but it was, it wasn't me. I was the best snack in the house, baby. It's your loss. It's because things happen. But that's rather you have a good man or not. But when we in it, when we in these relationships, he got to be some kind of good when you done had him. You got him sleeping in your bed. But we have to, and we as women have to separate that. If you are single and you're living single, that's different. But when you're married or in a committed relationship, in a committed partnership, whether you are legally married or you're spiritually married, you cannot be getting advice or confiding in a single woman. A single woman can't tell you a damn thing. She can't tell you nothing because all she bitter. She mad at the world. She gonna tell you everything negative about a man, and it's gonna have you looking at your good man or your half good man or your man that got potential to be good. Gonna have him. He gonna have you looking upside his head every time he knock the door or he on the phone. He walk outside. You worried about it because this girl telling you all this negative stuff, or you have a negative male mentor.
That shouldn't happen. That's the reason why there's a sisterhood, because stuff like that shouldn't happen. I know for I've seen things where there were influences to people, from woman to woman perspective, even a mother to daughter, even family members can also affect someone's household. When we're talking about we're talking about a healthy marriage, that's not supposed to happen. When we're talking about
a perspective from somebody under 26. Any females here under 26?
I don't think you're gonna find.
We all seasoned. We all seasoned up.
I think we just got some old queens up in this thing. We got some old seasoned queens up in here.
Let me throw something out there as far as it definitely sounds like, Sister Malika, bless you, you have a sound, solid marriage there. But it's just like we can speak in as far as, why do we have to always compromise? Are we always compromising, or are we seeking a partnership or a team where we're valuing each other? Because it sounds like you and your husband have a solid friend, and so it's just like when us as men and women and husband and wives, as far as the value of that person has a role to play in that partnership. You're not my side piece, but you my side piece. You my other half. You're my sidekick. That's right.
Yeah, you my sidekick.
So it's just like, okay, so and the other piece is like, when there's another thing as far as when there's certain behaviors that are allowed to continue to happen, and you didn't like them and you didn't say something in the beginning, and then it continues to build, and then all of a sudden now it's really up underneath your skin. And it's just like a closed mouth don't get fed. And if you said something, sister, what did Ema say? Ema would say, as far as a woman would leave a man for three things: the bed ain't right, the money, and she didn't talk to you, you're not listening. So, and it's just like, okay, well, if you find yourself in that situation, it's just like, it's okay, but you got then it's like you turn as a sister, as a woman, you turn the perspective back to taking care of yourself, your children, if there are any that have come out of the relationship. But as far as, are we really compromising? You're compromising your values of yourself when you're allowing certain behaviors to continue that they didn't speak up on. And it hurts because
you're right.
Because the expectation was there for that person to respect it, and because they did not respect it, and now it's like, oh dang, now I'm really hurt because now my voice was not respected. Well, the person didn't respect your voice here. That should have been a telltale sign in the beginning.
But because whether it was good and the bad, whether the money was right, whatever the case may be, you still kept going and continued to sweep it up underneath the rug. Now it's kaboom. It's all blown up now.
You're absolutely right, sister. And
Yeah.
I just speak. I'm like the devil advocate type thing, because it's like, now, don't get me wrong, me and Stephen had to get there. My I was married, legally married to this devil. He was, oh my God. And one thing he would always tell me is, Tammy, everybody ain't gonna love you like you love them. And it never dawned on me until I divorced that man. And I was home, I was doing all that I could do. But I had to listen to him complain about truck driving, but you still going out there. You still staying 2 months away from home. You got a new baby. When I knew I was married, but I was /single, was when I looked in my closet one day and I ain't had no man clothes in them. All his clothes and shoes was in his truck. So I had to take this time and I started a cheating relationship, and that was with God. I got so close with God. I got so close with the Most High. I started Buddhism. I started glowing from the inside out, into people. His family thought I was cheating with a man. And it was God that was making me glow, because I had to heal from sexual transmitted diseases that my husband gave me. Not only spiritually, something that I could have been on the Channel 9 news across the nation. I was his crutch.
Oh, praise.
I was in the same spot. Because I didn't have no other way to go, because I was a stay-at-home mom. I didn't have no job, so I didn't want to look bad to the family about, so I did what I had to do. I had to pray this man away from me, and I had to learn how to pray. I had to learn how to love God all over again, because I was asking God, why did you send this man to me? And I had to think about it. God didn't send him to me. He just stepped in the right time so I could get rid of the other baby daddy. Because he had done made me mad. So you want to know what I wanted to do? I wanted to get back at it. So, we take on some things, and I was his crutch. I accepted everything, drugs, alcohol, whatever it could be. I accepted it all, because I wanted this glamorous look. That's all it was. That's all it was. Wow. I had a ring on my finger that I took to the pawn shop that wasn't worth but $2. So, baby. So it shows you that don't nothing be worth it. If you set your boundaries, if you set your table at the beginning of the relationship, then when the relationship starts to mature, then they already know not to even cross that border with you, because now I had the time to heal. I had to go through a healing process. I wouldn't be in this relationship if I was not healed, because I wasn't going to do another man like that. I wasn't going to give another man this negative energy because of what somebody else done to me. I had to go through a whole cleanse, spiritual cleanse. I had to go through a mental cleanse, because I damn near lost my mind, because I could not believe that I had done fell short for this nigga. Because that's what he is. But in the process, we had a beautiful child. So that the child was holding me there because I was like, I do not want to be a single mama. I don't want to keep going through this. I don't want to do this. And he wanted another baby. I would not give it to him. I stayed on my birth control, and I did not want to get you not taking care of the one that you got. So what the hell I look like? Keep bringing these bad seeds into this world that that's gonna end up just like you.
Right.
So and now I was able to go through that spiritual cleanse. So when God put this man in my path, I knew that was the man that I prayed for. Someone who don't drink. And you have to say a specific prayer, y'all. Pray for the man that you want in your life. Write it down. Not just say I want a good man with some money that's gonna buy me a house. And he gonna send you just that. You got to go down your line and tell him specific what you want, what it is. You got that, yes, all the way in detail. And so happened, I was out and about, and I said something to this man, and it took us a long time to even go to the next level. We talked on the phone, and then we watched, and it materialized. And I hadn't lived with a man besides my husband. So when it was time for us we're going to be up under one household, we had to sit down and we had to talk about it. We had to talk about it with the kids. We had to talk about it amongst ourselves. Is this the right thing? Is this the wrong thing? Because now we're bringing two personalities in a household together. So if you coming from a woman that ain't got no man in her house, that you can walk in and do whatever you want to do, to now you're in a full-fledged committed relationship where y'all in a partnership where y'all running y'all household together, you got to have some kind of spiritual guidance there. Sometimes we jump out of relationships, one relationship into another relationship, and it took me almost 6 years to heal, y'all, from my last relationship, because I was so scared to get in a relationship with someone where they were going to do me the same way, or I wasn't going to be able to operate in my full potential because I was so hurt and scarred. And now I'm able to, if something is bothering me, I'm able to go to him and talk to him. If something is bothering him, because I was playing with him one day and I just called him the N-word, and that man got mad. He was like, hold on, before we go any further, please do not call me that. So we have to nip things in the bud immediately. And I'm gonna land my plane with that one.
Sisters, let me try to switch over the energy a little bit. A lot of brothers may listen to this and they're going to hear some of the things we said this evening, and they're going to say, see, we knew y'all hated us, y'all blaming us, blah blah blah. So are we also guilty? We talk about misogyny, but are we also guilty of misandry? We hate the men in our lives and hating on them,
Absolutely. Yeah. Resentment. That comes from resentment, like similar to what Sister Tangia was discussing about her past history, what she experienced. That will make any woman angry and bitter and resentful. And you do have to cleanse and heal from that. Because you step on my feet and it hurts. I mean, how am I supposed to respond?
Absolutely. I want to confirm exactly with my children's father. I was with him for 4 years. We produced 3 beautiful sons. Unfortunately, what I wanted was, to have a family, marriage, the whole 9 yards. What he wanted was bragging rights to have children and to go around and say you got kids, but don't want to take care of them.
We love our men.
I held that bitterness
Yeah.
for about 6 years.
You know, out of all the people on the earth, the only people who can make me angry is the people I love.
Exactly.
I don't care about anybody else out there who don't mean anything to me. You can't make me angry. I probably won't even respond to you.
Yeah.
But if I love you and I care about you and you hurt me, it's gonna make me angry.
You know, we all come from I come from a black daddy. I can't never say that I don't love, I got any hate for a man, because I don't. The only thing I don't hate anybody. I dislike the ones who treat us with no respect. You know, just treat us like trash. And those are the ones that I have a problem with. But other than that, I love all men. Give me a black man any day. You know, so I love me a black, strong black man, because I come from one. So I can never say that I hate a man. No other man, only that person is the one that I got a problem with, that has done something to me. You know, I can forgive, but I don't forget. I'm gonna forgive because that's the right thing to do. But just because somebody from my past has done something to me, don't make me hate all men, and don't make me want to go be with another woman because this man done hurt me. No, baby, it's too many black men out there in the world that to for us to sit up and I hate black men. No, all black men, you know, it's not fair for them. Yeah, it's not fair for the ones who haven't done anything to you to be shunned or written off or discredited because of what one bad apple has done to you. Once that bad apple fall off, something good gonna grow back on there. We as harvesters, we just gonna have to harvest the good fruit from going forward. You know, we've been harvesting some bad fruit. So now we have to go down our list and pick a winning team. You know, go out in your garden, and your garden is your mind, your heart, your soul, and redo your garden. And when you plant these seeds, you just make sure that you plant good seeds for the good harvest. Because when you connect with the next person that you connect with, y'all gonna have to produce good fruit. And that's by both of y'all watering each other daily, praying daily, talking to each other daily, lifting each other up daily.
And we also want our oh, I'm sorry, sis. Excuse me. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. We also want our men to know that we love them, but we have to talk about these things. We have to dig deep all around. You know about gardening, Sister Tangia. When you want to pull them weeds out, you got to go all the way to the root and pull it out. We have to communicate and put it out there how we feel and express this so that we can address these issues and so we can reverse these curses.
Exactly. And it's not about, you know, this is not about hate at all. Just because people see things that needs to be exposed doesn't chalk it up to be hate or resentment or bitterness. There's a big difference, okay? Because a woman I've seen some bitter women, and it doesn't. There's no excuse in that. That's her own bad for her own things that she needs to reflect on herself, because she's just going to take it out on the next man and the next man and the next man. So this is about, if there was no love here, then we wouldn't have this panel.
That's right.
Some people love hard. I'm a big mama. I love hard. I'm stern mama. I have a reason. And I grew up with men. I'm the only girl of you know, my siblings, and then my mom is the only girl of her siblings. And this is not just about man-woman intimate relationships. This is also father-daughter relationships. This is also male-female friendships. Every man in your life should be a healthy relationship, even if it's a man packing a bag to school. Every male that you run across, meaning you have to walk in your authority, and understand who truly get understanding of who you are. So when people see you, they automatically see an aura on you and just know better.
Yeah.
Little boys will just open the door for you.
Yeah.
So this is not about hatred. This is not about who's single and who shouldn't be talking if they single. This is not about all that. This is all about the plague and the sickness that's going on. Because I have brothers. I have my baby brother, he's going through it. You know, he's messing with a spicy Puerto Rican. And she's spicy, you know, she's very spicy. And I'm like, she's in over your head, little one. You shouldn't have did that. And he's trying to figure it out. He doesn't know how to leave. So I see men that's going through things too. Then I have another brother doing my sister-in-law dirty. I'm on her side. I don't care if that's my brother. He's not my brother acting the way he's acting because he wasn't raised like that. I've seen good men in my family. My grandfather's the best man I've ever known walking this planet. I wish he was here now. So this is not about hating anyone. This is about the shift and the change that I've seen. Like what happened to the brothers back in the day in the basketball court with their shirts all gleaming, just their body just gleaming with the sun just hitting them, and their pheromones smell good. And they bouncing up balls. We sitting on the beaches and they got the big boom box. Where those brothers at? What happened?
Yeah,
they just disappeared. Those guys don't even exist no more. Those guys were different. Yeah. The men of the 70s and the 80s. I'm a 70s baby, so those men of the 70s and 80s were different. Mm-hmm. These guys, this is something totally different going on, and it's a plague, it's a sickness, and it's an agenda. It has nothing to do with the white man separating because nobody put no gun in nobody had to force nobody to do nothing behind closed doors. Once the iron yoke has been taken off the neck, so this is a form of. It's a game. It's a big game.
You know, I'm a 70s
look at
baby
this as a game.
too. I'm a 70s baby too, and when I was growing up in the early 80s, I used to always see men giving women money. They used to give me money, give my mother's.
They didn't even have to have sex with them. They walking down the street just handing them some money. Yep.
Okay. I know that's right. And those type of males, men don't exist. There are some out there, but they don't exist because you could be, you know, you ever walked up to a counter and somebody say, oh, your money ain't good here and your stuff already paid for and you wondering who done paid for it and the man just gone. That's, you know, we need to bring those days back. And, you know, you're so scared to even take anything, even a compliment from these guys these days.
Right. And the good women back then, they appreciated the men more because of that.
But you know what? Let me ask you something. Because of what you're just saying about these type of men not existing. So they say the reason that they do exist, but the problem is we too masculine. We're like soldiers to them. We more manly than they are, so they're afraid to come to us because we gonna cuss them out. We gonna shut them down.
Their communication is off.
They say
their communication is off, and they know it.
Are they that so sensitive?
Their communication is off. They know they don't. They already come with an agenda, and what it is, like I said, this is a spirit war. This is a multidimensional spirit war. We like to say spiritual warfare, but we don't think we really understand in depth what this is saying. In order for the wars in the heavens to take place on earth, they need hosts. So take a while, guess who the hosts are. This is a multidimensional spirit war. These guys that are saying these things, we're talking about these guys that are saying this. We're not talking about men in general, even though that can be another totally different topic. These particular ones that are banging on women for no reason, we're talking about that. We want to focus on that, right? It's a game. It's a big game. They know no love. They don't have love in them. Their heart is darkened from something. Even their mama could have did something that ran their daddy out the house. And then they hate women, but won't take it back to source. Won't take it to their mama. Yeah. Oh, yeah, they'll take it out on the next woman who's been humble.
Who's been nail right on the head.
More than compromising. More than loving. This is serious because women are dying. Little girls are being raped by their own dads. Women are dying. What about the little Keisha situation? A scenario, little Keisha. I think I have always talked about this scenario because it gets people to thinking. Little Keisha gets raped by Uncle Johnny. Molested by Uncle Johnny. She go to Big Mama. Big Mama don't say nothing. Big Mama don't rebuke Uncle Johnny. Big Mama says, oh, whatever goes on in this house stays in this house. So now little Keisha got to sit at the table, look at Uncle Johnny every year for Thanksgiving or whatever holidays or feast days, whatever people do. Now little Keisha broke up and she becomes Big Keisha. And then she becomes Big Keisha. Now Big Keisha got issues. Big Keisha angry. She mad. She bitter. She got 3 and 4 and 5 baby daddies. She can't see. She can't stand to see no other woman happy. She will mess with somebody else, man, rather than get her own. And she got all these kids. And everybody's like, oh, Big Keisha got issues. Yeah, Big Keisha got issues. Little Keisha never got protected and laid to rest. Now, when Keisha's out there, these are the men that's talking about that particular Keisha, but don't know Keisha's story. And then taking on, and then what you said, Malika, about how we have to relate to when our men come in the door and, they have things that they need to get up. And I get that. But also in a sense of those Keishas, okay, those Jessicas, those Sallys, because this is not just a colored woman thing. This is another problem we have. This is not just a colored woman thing. This is a woman thing. This is a hunt.
This is a
feminine divide is being hunted all over the planet. And so now, when these girls are going through these things, there's no comforting. There's no helping. She has to do all that by herself.
Yeah,
she got to do it by herself. But the man, little Tommy, always needs help at school. You go, come on now, you got to help little Tommy now. But little Keisha or little Sally don't get help at school. She gets teased or whatever, and she's just. We're taking on stuff from the womb. We're taking on things as a female.
Yeah. So or we being scrutinized as Keisha was little. You being put out there. You wondering why Keisha is so promiscuous, and you wonder why Keisha is so fast and grown, and nobody don't know why Keisha is fast and grown because Keisha want that feeling. Keisha is looking for a protector. Keisha is, when Keisha becomes Big Keisha, Keisha is looking for someone she can somebody to save her, somebody to protect her. So now Keisha has been abused as little Keisha, and she starts settling for whatever that this man dish out to her. Keisha will do whatever this man say, just the sake of saying that I got a man, I got to be, I'm safe, okay. And all Keisha know is how to make a man like her is to give him some, because that or if I resist, he gonna take it anyway. So I'm just gonna. Now there you go, where you have you have Keisha that she just, it's a drug now. It's becoming an addiction. She don't
even want the good guy because that demon has been implanted in her. So she don't even want the good guys. So that's the thing.
All she want to do is do what she got to do and get up and leave. She can have no emotions behind that good time that she thinks she's having, but it's a pacifier. It's something inside of her. But once Keisha reach her full potential and she gets the help that she needs, Keisha is able to now see that she's worthy, that what was done to her as a child is not her fault.
Right.
And Keisha has went through relationship, baby daddy, marriage, and suppressing all these feelings.
Yeah.
And
this got to be healed.
And Keisha, now she's 4 or 5 babies later and married, and now her husband is triggering her. His breath is smelling just like Uncle John.
Not only that, she never forgave Uncle Johnny. So Uncle Johnny, whether he asked for forgiveness or not, Uncle Johnny done passed on, right?
Uncle Johnny need to be
shot. Still ain't gonna never forgive Uncle Johnny, and that's the problem. So now, here comes the men in her midst. Don't understand who she is, and that's why a lot of these men are angry. Not only someone like that, but a lot of them represent those things that may remind her of what had happened to her as a child. And they don't understand. They just looking at Keisha, they looking at her big booty, to her skin, her chocolate skin. Men don't know how to come to a point of nurture and a point of, they think that that's a feminine thing to do. First of all, a male and a female has to balance both the masculine and the feminine within them.
And men don't have capability, nor do they just want to. So the fact that they don't even want to connect, they're emotionally detached. That's one of the main problems. So, okay, I'm going to go real quick to Deuteronomy, right? Deuteronomy 22. And to talk about the damsel, I'm just going to paraphrase. I ain't going to go here. Deuteronomy 22, I believe, about the damsel that was found, okay, by the man. I think she was a spouse to be married. She was found by some man, and he laid hold on her, means forced himself on her, okay? And then when the town finds out, and her father finds out, what does her father do? Because like I said, this ain't just about relationships now. What her father do? Oh, you're going to have to pay me to marry my daughter and don't put her away. Why would any father do a thing like that? Now, whoever's Old Testament thumpers only or New Testament thumpers only, or they rock with the whole entire Bible, either way, this is still going on to this very day.
Yeah.
So this particular father, tell me, anybody here on this panel, what man that you know of would even do something like that to his daughter? And go, oh, you raped my daughter? Oh, you want to just have to pay me to have her? So we're talking about some color purple type stuff. So we know now this is this Bible thing is fabricated by a man's doctrine, by a man trying to find a way to take hold of women. Not only that, giving women away in marriage just for their own gain, giving their own daughters away for their own gain. This is not just about relationships. This goes so far deep. So I find out, right, when I read into that, and I'm like, you know, I ask the Most High. I have to ask so I can graduate from my learning and learn other learning as well. Why would you allow that, God? What are you saying here? Are you saying that in this culture that I'm in, the Hebrew Israelite culture I'm in, that this is something that is, because I'm hearing God saying, oh, as soon as a little girl gets her period, she's a woman. I'm hearing some perverted stuff going on in the Hebrew Israelite community. Okay? A little girl is disobedient because she ate some pizza in somebody's car, and the guy got mad that his daughter put grease all over his Camaro. Okay, these are righteous men that we're supposed to worship. So what I'm saying is, I'm practical. I'm practical and I'm analytical. It has to make sense to me. I read something about a little girl. That same little girl, right? Come to find out, her father and her brother used to rape her. They used to rape her and beat her. And when she got older, the same man. So this is Deuteronomy 22, but they took so much stuff out the Bible. We don't have half of the stories of the Bible. We don't have half of the stories. Okay, so we're going to expand here in Deuteronomy 22. That when this particular little girl, because now she's been given to this man who raped her, and she got to deal with him, kind of like a Miss Seeley thing. In her despair, she tells this guy later on, tells her husband, because he's supposed to be her rock. She's supposed to be able to come and talk to him too, right? Tells him what happens to her when she was a little girl, that her dad and her brother would rape her and beat her. And this man who raped her, instead of him, he was mad and pissed off and jealous, but not because of what had happened to her. He was more just pissed off. So he goes and confronts the father and the brother, and they denied it. And he automatically believed their lie. The reason why he believed their lie, because they got the same damn spirits. So he beats her and throws her out of his house, cast her out from among the town. She had nowhere to go because of the bad name that was given. And throughout the Hebrew Israelite community, oh yeah, don't talk to her, don't talk to her, tell your red, your op, tell your red, don't talk to her, this and that. Casting her out from among the people, cutting off virtuous daughters, so she has nowhere to go. She has nowhere to go. And because she stayed in the Hebrew Israelite camp or in a congregation or assembly, whatever situation, okay? And I'm just speaking from this particular story, and I'll tell you what this book was. Now, she don't know what to do. Very attractive woman. She didn't know what to do, and she enticed men for money. And that's how she became a prostitute, Mary Magdalene. So Mary Magdalene now gets judged by all these men who approached her for favors, for sexual favors. Now they wanted to throw her on Hamashiach. Well, yeah, what you gonna do about this woman? She done defiled us and did this and that to us. And then that's when he said he was without sin. Let them be the first one to cast a stone. That's what that's about. They had took that story out of there, so you wouldn't even know that is a Mary Magdalene. That's because there was many Mary Magdalenes. So this is where we're going, where the women are still being judged to this time. Then we want to judge a woman for what she's doing or what she's wearing or how she's acting. Don't know her story.
No, these are not righteous men.
It's right. So it's all the spirit of division to divide the women, cause the women to argue, cause the women to look at another who she thinks she is. This and that, and fighting women over men that are not, half of these men are bums, not even worthy. I'm not saying all men are, because I grew up. I know I have some. I've been taught by men. I've been taught by men. I've never stayed in a child's place. I was young, hanging around older people, and they taught me to see the BS coming. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm a little spicy the way I talk because from where I'm from in New York, so we kind of, a little different up there, but it's like I come this way, but I come with love, and I speak truth, because I've been around it, I've seen some things, I've encountered some things, so the experience helps us to learn how to deal with one another, also in love as sisters, as woman to woman. Even the female who has come against me, I had to cut somebody off recently because of some things that she was doing. I had to cut her off. And, the crazy thing was, I didn't have any emotions. I didn't have emotions this time because I'm like, we didn't talk about this. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, really? Mm-hmm. So not only that, I introduced someone very dear to me, to her. I introduced she knows everything about me. So to use it against me over jealousy and things, this is what I'm talking about. We as sisters don't want to come together, and the man comes first. Look at what we're doing. We're trying our best to come together now for the sake of men, but they're not caring. They just begging. They're sitting. It's like they're sitting at around the league table too. On the worst case though, we're doing it on a way like, how do we fix this? We have to fix us. We have to walk in our authority.
That was going to be my next question. How do we fix this? Because it's already 9:30. How can we fix this, y'all? How can we fix this?
I think it starts from our. Well, I also think aside from us, seeking a lot of us need healing. A lot of us are broken. A lot of us are damaged, unfortunately. Sadly, the children. A lot of us have been essayed. A lot of us have been physically abused, mentally abused, neglected. Not trying to tell too much, but even within my own life, some things happened to me, and there was certain people in your life are supposed to protect you, right? Mm-hmm. And I used to always wonder, and I love this person, but I was like, why didn't this person protect me? I never understood that, and I always felt like they didn't like me as much or didn't love me as much. But then, a couple of years ago, they began to tell me their life story. And I found out that they also endured what I endured and worse. So no one ever helped them. No one ever told them it wasn't their fault. No one ever loved them and embraced them. So how was that person going to come to me and help me and heal me? They told me to do what they did, was push yourself and keep going, and pray to God and it'll go away, But unfortunately, I love the Most High, y'all, but everything don't always just go right away with prayer. You know what I mean? We actually do need therapy. We actually do need to be able to talk some things out and get some things out and bring it out. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so, yes, prayer is awesome as well. But yeah, we do need to have therapy. We do need
some of us need some deep counseling.
Yeah, we need our sisterhood, and like I said, the cattiness, the competition is ridiculous. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It is so ridiculous that we be in competition with one another over the stupidest stuff, or even competing. I heard a sister say about competing over a man. She said a half a pair of pants is better than no pair of pants. And, I said, oh my God, that's all you want? That's all you want in life, And it's just like, this is ridiculous.
Those are the very women that will, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you, but those are the, that's the thing. There are also daughters out there that are not. You have to see things for what it is. Because we all look alike and have same hair, that doesn't mean everybody's your sisters. And we have to separate, like it says in Matthew 13 about the kingdom of heaven is like a man who sows good seed in his field. And while he sowed them seeds, some good seeds, enemy came and dropped tares among the weeds. Well, that's another trickery, is that there are going to be people amongst us that are not of us. Mm-hmm. And there are going to be people that don't look like us that's going to be of us. That's another thing. We have to bring unity according to the Spirit. Right. And right now, the feminine divine throne is about to erect. And you guys are going to have to accept that and be aligned with the feminine divine throne, because you guys are feminine women. Don't let no man tell you to stop being feminine. That's another problem. You're a woman. You're supposed to be feminine. They want you to, you want to be pleasing to that man when he comes through the door. He should be able to forget about what happened through that front door and come and look at you like, wow. You shouldn't have to. I'm not saying that we don't have to like communicate and think and talk about things with our husbands, or with our brothers or fathers. But when they come through that door, they have a pillar of rest. What does that mean? Shouldn't that mean something? So we should be so dainty. We shouldn't have all this weight. Why are we trying to? Why do we want to take on weight? We're not supposed to want to take on weight. But I thought we're the weaker vessel. I thought we're the weaker vessel.
No, we
that's
strong
the problem.
Black
So,
woman. We strong Black woman.
Yeah,
but I don't say that in a positive way. I'm not saying that in a positive way. I get tired of being strong sometimes, honey. I want to be a soft girl too, you know?
Right. I would love to. Yeah, a lot of us would love to be feminine. But see, when you're dealing with men who are not emotionally intelligent, you wouldn't have to explain, this is a conversation that you would not have to have with an emotionally intelligent man, in my opinion. He would be able to discern and listen to his woman and be able to be like, okay, well, maybe I should do this way, that way, and she wouldn't react to this and that way.
Yeah, and I think that's the, like you said earlier, how do we fix this? And this basically walking in our authority. The self-love. We got to get there first.
Self-love and self-care.
Get there first, and then everything will fall into play. They don't want us to do self-love, because once we do self-love, we're going to figure out their game. And when we figure out their game, they have lost. They don't want us to realize that this has all been a game since the beginning, and they're weaponizing the Bible on top of that. How many religions have weaponized the Bible against women? How many religions? It ain't no different in the Hebrew Israelite community.
Sisters, when you speak
Eve
of self-love,
did this, Eve did that, Eve did what she did, we wouldn't be here right now. If she didn't do what she did, we wouldn't be here right now. So why you want to come against an ancestor? Like, you think you want to get up there, wherever she's at, and give her a piece of your mind? You want to get zapped before you even think about another thought like that.
I want to
She's
know
a mother of all living.
Sisters, who here can define self-love? Because I don't think we all understand what that really is. I think people think of self-love as things like, going out and get your nails done, or, getting a massage, or just meditating a little bit. And it really is deeper than that. So I would like to know who here can define self-love, because, that is the first thing we need to learn.
It's first knowing who you are, learning about your true self and your purpose here. And learning about your flaws, that your flaws are also beautiful, specifically designed things about you, and no one gets to tell you about you. No one, absolutely no one. We are so trying down about men too. I'm not saying it's just men too. We're all on this planet, and always wondering about what somebody else thinks. That's a part of when we start doing that. Oh, they might think this, they might think that, and they might think we don't like this, and that's right there. You're already rejecting yourself. You're rejecting your own womb.
And self-love
is rejecting his own testimony.
It's also not allowing other people to disrespect you.
So it took me a while to understand that. I had a spiritual muzzle on me for a long time, and that's why I'm a talkative person. But it's just we have to walk in, and anything about yourself that it may seem foreign to you, but you don't want to let it out because you're scared of how people are going to think. Oh, no. Your biggest sin against yourself is not being in your true self, no matter what somebody thinks. No matter what somebody thinks.
On that one. And it's okay.
That's the most biggest sin you can ever commit.
It is a sin.
Let's rock us so far as with self-love. Not anyone else's morals and values redefine you. And it's okay in order to say, no, I do not accept what you say as being over me and saying yes to that. It's okay for that. And not have any inner turmoil going on behind it, or inner doubt, or anything.
And a lot of women
of foolishness.
Right. And a lot of women, I personally do not have children. I don't have children. I've raised many children. I've done homeschooling, and I've been around so many different mothers who seem like they regretted their children. Children are a beautiful blessing. Now,
They are.
there's some demon seeds that should have been born. Like somebody, a female said one time when she seen these guys about old women, she died. She said that woman, whoever his mother is, should have swallowed. It came to him.
Mm.
So there's some children, there's some vipers that should not have been. And I showed you the demon sperm, the derelict sperm. So you were chosen for a reason. Whether the child whether that soul in a turnaround saw you go, wow, I like her. I want her to be my mom because I can learn things from her. Or it just needed to get here and be placed here. It needed a vessel to come here, and it wasn't nothing necessarily specific. Either way, it was a reason why that you all had children. So don't let no man tell you, oh, you got kids and you all wiped up and you old with kids and nobody gonna want you, or making you feel like some kind of way because you got these 3 and 4 or 5 baby daddies. No, don't ever feel like that. That's the problem. That's the problem. Don't let nobody make you feel like that. So we have to walk in our truth.
Hold on one quick second, sister. Hold that thought, because you are very passionate and I love it. I want to hear just a little bit more from Sister Bia on this self-love. Did she drop down?
Is that Bia? Okay, she took a mute off.
Here, sister. I mean, as far as I was going through a dead zone for a moment. So, but as far as whether it's basically the self-love, I mean, who is it? Where is Sister Malaika at? She had it right on as far as she went in and redefined herself and found her identity. That's an act of self-love. That's an act of, taking care of yourself and being aware of where your flaws are at and doing some work in them. You know what I'm saying? We can say that we come across pretty sharp and taking responsibility. We may impact people with our thoughts, our words, and our ways and our doings and deals with them. Because how we deal with other people, we also deal with ourselves and how we have to deal with it as well.
I agree. Yeah, she breaking up.
I'm sorry?
Oh, your phone was breaking up.
Yeah. Okay, I'm coming through. Coming down the street here. Okay. What was it that you did here, sis?
I think the last clear thing we heard was about doing work on yourself.
Doing work on yourself, because if you redefining yourself, you're also redefining how you treat others and how you impact others, and taking responsibility of how you impact others, what you say, what you do. You're becoming more emotionally competent, being more aware. When somebody says something that might have triggered something from your trauma, being aware of your trauma and doing the work in that area. Maybe you may not fully heal, but at least you have awareness in order to be able to have sustainable relationship, a partnership. You know what I'm saying? Self-love in a sense of as far as being okay and being safe with your yes being your yes and your no being your no, and let nobody shake you in your stance.
That's good.
It's my plate is full and then some. Trying to hold up all these pieces, and I ain't got no room left in my arms. But I'm okay with taking 3 hours off just to go sit and watch a fight. I'm okay with that. Something's gonna get dropped somewhere. But I gotta take care of me. Because if I don't take care of me, you don't take care of yourself, there's not gonna be anything left in order to do the Most High's will and work.
That's right.
And that's what we're here for.
And say no more too. We don't say no enough.
Amen on that one.
I definitely have that problem.
Setting them boundaries. Yeah, I mean, in order to love the males,
that's right.
In order to love the men, we have to love ourselves first. In order, they will love themselves better once they see we love. The bars will be set higher for them. Yeah. They will know who's worthy for them when we start knowing our worth. Once you know your worth, those guys that's acting a fool, they gonna fall off the plate. They're gonna fall off the plate. We're not supposed to chase behind them or try and reason with them in the first place. Those are not the ones.
And you're the only one who can teach others how to treat you.
Yeah, so we are teachers, because you got to teach that man how to love you. Right. Other than that, what are they leading? What are they leading? They want to lead in tyranny? No. So those are not the ones that we're supposed to be chasing, trying, reason, okay, my brother, shalom, shalom. No, those are not the ones. They're not of shalom. So why are we giving them shalom? They don't want to give us shalom. They're not, they don't even know what that means. Those are different species of men. Those are different species of whatever they are. So the ones that are worthy, whether it's your husband, your mate, someone you're courting with, your brothers, your friends, your male friends, your grandfathers, anyone that you may have anything going on with, it's an all reflection of us. Once we stand our ground a certain way, we have to be like the ancient mothers. Where are we? Where are we? Our ancestors are trying to lock in on us, and we will not act. And I'm talking about the good ancestors. I'm not talking about, I'm talking about the ancestors, those doulas. Those doulas that were replaced by midwives, we need those doulas back, because those doulas knew how to bring in the children from the eternal realms when that baby was coming through the woman's womb. And those doulas actually knew where those children came from. They knew the ancestors of those children. Then you have death doulas. And death doulas, when you go out, and they replace them, like I said, with midwives, pediatricians, and your physicians. Those are the doulas that have been replaced and killed off. Now these death doulas, they help transition you out. So you go back to your ancestors, you go back home, and you do not get tossed and wavered and become a demon, a spirit, or an entity.
That's deep, sis.
So this is where we're at. And that's what the men, that's what I said, it's a sickness, it's a plague. It's like these men had gotten something that jumped inside of them. And they're being used as a vessel to attack. It's a hunt, it's a witch hunt. It's a witch hunt, which means wisdom. The unknown, seer. That's what witch means. So what happens is women, we have intuition automatically through the womb. Our intuition is way higher. And when we see something, they don't want us to, especially when we have some kind of vision, that's some other spirit talking, that ain't the most high talking to you, most high was dealing with the men. Already the jealousy. So this is deep. This is deep. It's all about, if they just, all they got to do is provide.
Jealousy is another problem. That's another problem that we have. And this is why we're bickering back and forth.
Yeah. Provide and protect and love. And they can't even get those things right. They can't even love us. They can't provide and they can't protect. They're not capable. They just don't want to. It's too much work for them to deal with a feminine divine woman that's in her truth. So they have to bring you down so that you don't know your worth, and it's easier for them to control you. They don't want a real good woman, because if they did, the problem is their confusion. Most times not the author of confusion. They're the ones who's bringing on the confusion.
So sisters, would it be fair to say, to sum it up a little bit, is that first and foremost in this gender war, sisters first need to do some self-healing and build a sisterhood before we can build a brotherhood, or build with the brotherhood?
I agree.
Definitely agree.
But see, we don't come together enough. So how do we organize ourselves to come together more in order to form that sisterhood?
I think that's where that self-healing comes, so we can stop with the feeling envious and jealous and feeling like we're in a competition, when we can actually see our sisters as our sisters and not the competition, because we're no longer fighting over men's attention.
That's what's up.
Also, we have to relate to all feminine species. All women, not just, like I said before, it's not just a colored woman thing. This has been going on since time began, with all females, okay? Whether it was an Asiatic minor, whether it was an African, whatever, the South American, y'all gotta watch this movie. I'm gonna put it in the chat. It's called Killers of the Flower Moon. And then there's another one called Run, Sweetheart, Run. I'm gonna put it in the chat. It's with Robert, Killers of the Flower Moon. It's with Robert De Niro and Leonardo DiCaprio. That movie is crazy. Then you gotta watch Run, Sweetheart, Run.
Run, Sweetheart, Run.
And that's just two of them. That's just two of them that shows the woman is so important that even creatures from other realms are hunting us.
Yeah.
Run, Sweetheart, Run. That's with the vampires, right?
It was one guy. Yeah, it was a creature. And he was chasing her down due to the smell of her blood. The women kept saying her blood was so strong. She was something special. The men use a Bible and say, when we have our period, we are unclean. That is far from the truth. Actually, we come together more stronger when we are on our cycle. And we can pray to the Most High. We can't even face the Most High when we're on our period. So, and then delete you from the Shabbat, or delete you from a feast day because you got to sit over there so everybody know that you're on your period with a damn rag on a chair, so you won't defile the damn chair. Come on, we got to stop allowing ourselves to stop. We got to look at the Bible in wisdom and not with religion.
Mm-hmm.
That is no God talking to the women like that. That is something else that people are using and fabricating their own. It's the same book that I said that the extra story of the Mary Magdalene is also saying in there how the Hebrew Israelites, the Jews, had fabricated the Bible to their own their records, to their own fancies and desires, and decided who should die and who should not die when they wanted Mary Magdalene killed. And these are the same brothers, the same spirits that we're protecting today.
Yeah.
So we got to see things for what it is. And once we're coming together, I think because I'm looking to I'm trying to establish an organization that is protecting women and children, because there's about to be a hunt. Women are being hunted, and it's going to get so bad that a lot of women will get desperate and force themselves to submit under a man, under a certain spirit who they should not have forced themselves, who they should not have been submitted under, because they're so desperate to be protected. So if these men are supposed to be protecting us, why they're acting like this against us? So now we're going to say, oh, well, you're going to just deal with somebody familiar. You're going to deal with a familiar spirit because they just seem more familiar to you. That you would submit yourself under that. Once the law against man has been lifted, because the law is going to be lifted against man. The law that keeps man in check from not being rapists and stuff like that, the ones that, that's hitting stuff in their hearts. Once that law is lifted, watch how you see how people start acting. You thought you would have never in your wildest dreams thought that brother would have acted that way. Everybody's just nice because of the law. Wait till the law is lifted. Wait till the purge comes.
Not only that, they're doing these surgeries, and I'm going to say this so I don't get banned, but a certain community of alphabet, there's a certain letter starts with a T. And I could be sounding like a conspiracy theorist right now, but when you say women being hunted, I think about our uteruses. They're quick to always say that we got something wrong with our uterus and we need a hysterectomy. But sometimes I wonder, with all of these T people running around trying to beat us, where's our uteruses going? When they're taking these things out, because they're being eaten. Not only that, I think they're building a new version of us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
also Chaos Walking. That movie too. Add that movie too. Chaos Walking. Add that movie too.
I wish I could think of the movie I told you about, sister, with the dragon.
Yes, that was Damsel. It's called Damsel.
Damsel, yeah, that's the one. That one is good. Damsel,
I love that.
Good.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna check
sacrifice.
this out.
And there's one more where they were unaliving women, pregnant women and children, because there was a food shortage. And remember, the lady got stuck in the water in a shipping container by herself.
Yeah. I remember that. I can't remember the name of that. Yeah, they were shooting them. Yeah, oh my God.
They were unaliving women and pregnant women and children because they felt they were a pull on the resources.
Yeah. So this is the Bible is actually talking about the present and the future. We really shouldn't be dwelling on the past. We should be looking at the present and the future. That's what's really revealing to us what's going to happen, and everything that's playing out. We're like behind time on being prepared for what's coming. So even The Handmaid's Tale was a serious show. I didn't even watch the second season of The Handmaid's Tale, but I know this guy named Brother Obadiah. He was trying to tell him, he's like, yeah, y'all sisters need to get it, watch that. Y'all need to watch that show. And that show spoke in loud volume, but it showed that it wasn't just colored women. It was all women. All women.
And you gotta watch it you gotta watch it all the way through. I've watched it all the way through. So if he suggested that, it ain't what he think it is, because he ain't watched it. If he really watched it, he would know.
Yeah, because at the time when he said that, it was only the first season. So probably because there's a lot of those women I know that they kicked some ass like towards the end of that first season. So I was like, yeah, but that's what it is. In order to love, you're gonna have to love. Sometimes this whole thing with there's demonic entities that we can't judge those entities either. We can't judge the demons, the spirits, and whatever we want. You can't, you know why? Because they were once people too. And what happens is they might have passed from this realm unresolved. And when they pass from this realm unresolved, anything that may be in our hearts that they can relate to, what they're going to do, attach themselves to us. They're going to get drawn to us. And then we open up the door for them to act out. And then we're like, oh, there's a demon around us, so that person got a demon on it. And there's a girl, I don't remember her name, but she was in Canada. And if y'all are familiar with Autumn Humphreys, she used to be online a lot. And she interviewed this girl. The girl was saying how there was a demon on this guy who she had courted with that was from the States, but she lived in Canada. And they was pretty much, and I think they was, the guy was from a particular camp. But they warned her to not deal with him, but she wanted to anyway. So somewhere along the line, he couldn't get his passport to get to Canada. So she came to him. And they were, I don't think they were together that long by the time he started acting up, and he was really aggressive and forceful, and he tried to do something to her, choke her or something like that. And she said that, and now the crazy thing is, played the recording. So it's not like she was lying. They played the recording, and the recording, his voice shifted into something else. And she said she recognized that voice when she was 5 years old. That was a demon that used to chase her from back when she was a child. And that same demon was in that guy. But the crazy thing about her is that she still blamed the guy. Okay, because that demon wasn't on that guy until you came around. So we also got to look at things within ourselves too. We have to do a lot of cleansing, because sometimes we can attract the very things or the very kind of men that we may not want. And we don't know, we haven't learned. We haven't done that shadow work. We haven't did deep. And we have to cleanse all things and be pure with ourselves. We have to be pure, and I don't mean pure like religion, like, oh, we got to do this. It's not about religion. It's about just being true to yourself. Being true to yourself will run off the very demon and you can actually heal the demon, because the demon might just be attached to you because you're keeping it hostage. You understand the power that a human being has? We can trap souls without even realizing it. Wow. We don't know the powers we have. When we burying people alive, number one, burying people. If we want to be resurrected like Christ was resurrected, how we came is how we should leave. We should have nothing taken out of our bodies, not a wisdom tooth, not a tonsil, not a uterus, not a nothing. You go the way you came. Exactly. But they take your organs out your body. They embalm you with some kind of chemical. Yeah, we're not supposed to be embalmed either. Right. And they'll put you in the ground 6 feet under in the casket that they charge you for, that they're going to dig that body up after the family boo-hoo and cry and leave and sell that casket to somebody else and just throw you back in there. So this is where we, a lot of things that happens in the spiritual realm are attached to the things that we do in this realm too. We have to also look at that too. Like I just found this out because I kind of go deep on that part too, where some children, while parents have issues with their children, aborting a child, that same child come back, that child will give you hell because you aborted it and you didn't give it a chance to write out his contract because you heard that before. Yeah. So then you might have an issue with the karma of children, or that child giving you a problem might have been your husband from a past life, or you might have been his wife, like you might have been the man, and that was like, we don't go into that, like religion don't like to teach those things. That's the whole purpose of religion. So you don't come outside your box. What you're talking about is ancient spirituality, sister. That's ancient spirituality. Yeah. So they want to forbid you to come out of it. Right. And this is another thing too. So nothing is to be taken personal. With the man, it's more like, once you stay in your ground, he's gonna fly off. He's gonna go wherever he's gonna go, and he'll be somebody else's headache. And he's gonna get out the way, but you're gonna see your actual king. That's all. But they want you to believe that you ain't gonna have nobody. So that means that threatens when they're trying to make you feel like you won't find nobody, and you just got to deal with their abuse. Yeah, they're mind effing you online. They're mind effing you everywhere you go. You can come on. No other race is doing that to their women on social media. No other race. I can't argue with that.
Sisters, the hour is late. Okay. We're gonna Divine Natura, we're gonna have to probably have you back by yourself and just talk with you. But we're gonna I just wanted No, but you've said a lot. You've given us a lot of food for thought, and I
No, we
appreciate it.
appreciate you. You very informative.
But what I do want to do is for those sisters who are left in the room, I know some of you sisters have businesses. So before we get out of here, I want to give everyone a chance to plug their organization, business, or their events that are coming up.
Oh yeah, put it in the chat too.
Me and a lovely sister out here in the state of Minnesota, Sister Crystal, who is Two Loves and a Dove, and myself representing Warm Hearts, Warm Hands. We're going to be doing an event November 30th here in the state of Minnesota. We're looking for donations. We're trying to put enough warm clothes on our homeless youth out here. Possibly get them some warm coffee and some donuts and things like that, and try to make a difference. As you know, the state of Minnesota, we are sharing a border with Canada, and it gets freezing out here. And I myself, I work in the homeless shelters system. And as soon as after that, no offense to my Christian brothers, after that holiday of Thanksgiving, or what they give their families to boot. And so we have a lot of encampments of people sleeping in tents, and we don't have enough shelter beds. So I will put the flyer in the chat, and
okay.
We have an Amazon link. If anybody wants to help us, please. Really appreciate it. I know we all don't have very much, but we also got to remember the Creator has put us in a position where, you know, we have a place to stay, and there's others that don't have a place to lay their heads at night.
Right.
And we
Can
have
you
to
text me the link, sis? Put it in my Facebook inbox.
Absolutely, and I'll put the flyer into the and some information.
Yes, please. Tawada. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? You know, we want to support you because we do appreciate your supporting us. So we definitely want to reciprocate. So
yeah,
you know,
and my information is in the chat, sisters. If you all need to reach out to me directly, I'm here.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, well, and of course, you know, you can follow me anywhere, Princess Ada, Tekia, Humbly Ada. It's going to be under one of those names, you know. There's too many links to give out, but if you go on YouTube or Facebook, TikTok, wherever, all you got to do is either type in Princess Ada, Tekia, or Humbly Ada, and you will find me. I'm grateful to be co-hosting this Royal Meetup with Sister Rafaela. We have a YouTube page as well as a Facebook page. It's under the Royal Meetup Talk Panel. Of course, you can follow Sister Rafaela via Facebook or on her YouTube channel at I Am Rafaela. And you can follow me on Facebook at Princess Ada Tekia, or my media page at Humbly Ada Media Productions, or you can also follow me on YouTube under Humbly Princess Ada or Humbly Ada, which also have a second a new profile for my little podcast I'm playing with right now. But yes, so those are my contact links. And you know, always the best place probably to contact us most often is Facebook. In Messenger or whatever, just drop, you know, if you want to get in contact us, because we're always looking on there.
Yeah, and I'll put the information in the chat too, on the Royal Meetup information.
So this has been lovely.
This was like we went deep, like how we wanted to go deep. I appreciate that. This was a powerful panel. Powerful.
Now we gotta wait for our brothers to kind of step their game up and tell us what's going on.
That's next month, y'all. So you can that'll be the brothers only, but y'all can listen in on YouTube when we talk to them. So I'm interested to see what they're gonna bring out.
You already know they come for the jugular.
It's all right, though. You know, hopefully not. You know, hopefully that there are just to hear. Sometimes I like how you guys did this, where you hear the sisters first and then the brothers. You know, it didn't matter which order, but they was able to sit back and listen. Now, only the chosen few are going to really hit. And it might be, you might have 20 in the morning, it's going to be just one. It's not about quality, it's about the quantity. I mean, no, I said it wrong. Not the quantity, not the amount, but it's just the one that might be like, they get it. And they see some, and then others, they're so indeed, like, it's the food too. The food can also have people's mindsets going. The radiation, this country is so infested with radiation that the spirit of lust and wrath is upon people in affecting the system where people don't even understand what they're saying or doing. They're not even operating their own soul. They think they know what they're talking about and they don't. So that's another problem too. And then we merging with them, energy is all, I'm all about energy. It's all connected. We're all connected like Alexander Graham Bell, AT&T. So that can affect a woman. I get ulcers when there's certain people with certain energy that don't feel right. Like, that's how much I'm an empath, that I can feel another woman's cycle. I don't have to know her personally. Don't have to be around her. I've had things happen to me, and I'm like, how can I have just felt that right now? Or I could tell you some things another time, So this is how serious we are. We're in a time where the Most High wanted to prepare us for something that was really going to be beyond our wildest imaginations. He was preparing us for something way different than just, don't focus. You already know the law and statutes and commandments. You know that. Don't put stuff on yourself that doesn't even apply to you. If you know you ain't commit no murder, why are you taking that law on your soul? Why are you taking it in your DNA? Don't take no laws that have not been embedded in you from the time that you have written your contract before you was born. You came into this womb already knowing you're not going to be a murderer. There's certain things you just don't have to be told. You don't have to be told that. So it's not about keeping laws and statutes and commandments for people who didn't do it. It's for the ones who did do it. The law was meant for those who did do it. And that's why I said, when that law is lifted, you're going to see who the law was actually for. And then there's some women sadly, there's going to be some women that's going to rock with that, because there's a lot of patriotic women. There's a lot of patriotic women. They're not matriarchs. And that's another thing. That's going to be the biggest war, women against women.
Yeah, that's been going on for a while.
Yeah, so that Babylonian mother and son stuff, it's real. So but thank you guys so much. Y'all are beautiful, and
thank you, Sister Divine.
I try to behave. Yes, thank you. Yes, it was very much a pleasure, to be here with you guys today, and I look forward to the next time. I'm leaving the country.
We're gonna stay connected. We're gonna do something else.
Definitely. I was looking for your number on here, but I will catch up with you.
Let me put it in the chat for you guys. And one of the sisters just who clicked off, she texted and she said, thank you so much. It was really refreshing to get with some sisters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, I'm putting my number in here now. Sister Raphael. And I love y'all so much. I love y'all already. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Yes. And
thank you.
Yeah, connect with us, please.
Okay.
Yes, indeed. Well, we're gonna.
Thank you, guys.
Sister Raphael, you mind to say a quick prayer before we exit?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Hallelujah. Abba, we thank you for this time that we came together to commune under one consent, and we love you, and Abba, I just thank you for the opportunity for the sisters that have a chance to get together and talk and to commune together. It really was a blessing, and we're just grateful to you. We're just grateful to you for your spirit and for the love, and we're asking that you would pour upon us more spirit of love and unity amongst our people. In the name of your Son, the Messiah, so be it.
All praises. Thank you.
All praises.
Shalom, and everyone have a blessed week.
Shalom.
Yes.
You too. Great evening.
Don't forget how we move. There's nothing like a woman, nothing in this world like a woman. Forget how we move. She the real deal, no fake, no front. Forget how we move. What you see is what you get, baby. She legit. Don't forget how we move. All my ladies around the world gon' represent. She the real deal, no fake, no frontin'. How we move, what you see is what you get. Baby, she legit. How we move, all my ladies around the world gon' represent. It is what it is, and you can do everything you put your mind to do. License being ladies, we have the power. We should have a matriarch shower. Let's celebrate. This is the return of the mitochondrial DNA. Hey, we deserve the very best mothers of civilization. So tell me why the hell we have all this hating on us. I say, Father, shout out to Peaches and your Majesty. We still run. Don't forget how we move. There's nothing like a woman, nothing in this world like a one. Forget how we move. She the real deal, no fake, no front. Forget how we move. What you see is what you get. Baby, she legit. Don't forget how we move. All my ladies around the world gon' represent. Don't forget how we move. There's nothing like a woman, nothing in this world like a woman. Don't forget how we move. She the real deal, no fake, no front. How we move. What you see is what you get. Baby, she legit. How we move. All my ladies around the world gon' represent.
Ladies to the front of me, hoes in the back, soldiers at the side of me. No room for slackers, backlist, the actors, clothes, the strippers, all the benefactors to rename these niggas. This ain't no independent woman shit. Feminist jargon, get hit with the bullet. The nail on my head if they talking, but they full of it. Put into blanket bed, but they keep pulling it. I'm raising a nation, my offspring are being raised for every occasion. We don't turn the other cheek, look what we facing. Heavy machinery is not in operation. Dash him in the basin, there's no excuses. They still sip tea, I'm sipping like juices. I got the remedy for the faint-hearted losers. The return of the matriarch means your GPS route is useless. Get out